Good afternoon and welcome here to Nethermoor. It's Guiseley AFC Radio bringing you coverage of the game in the Skrill North between Guiseley and Vauxhall Motors, an emotive week for the motormen who of course announced in the press that they were to disband and to join the West Cheshire League next season. So this could be the last time that the motormen make their way to Nethermoor for an awful long time. We wish them all the best, and of course if you're listening in from Vauxhall Motors perspective, we hope you enjoy the coverage this afternoon, if not the scoreline. I'm Colin Robertson. Alongside me is Tom Feeney for this afternoon's game. We'll be bringing you all the live coverage of this match, so stick with us here on Guiseley AFC Radio. Tom, a big game this afternoon, isn't it, for us? We've got to get this momentum from a Guiseley perspective to continue if we're going to have any hope of closing down on the playoffs.
Yeah, well, it really is important when you look at Guiseley and just how they've been playing over the last few weeks. You know, the performances have been there. Now it's all about picking up the results, getting the 3 points on the board, and you know, a win today, they could move up a position. Guiseley get a few wins in a row, and you're near them playoff places, and that's what really is the main aim.
Well, we'll certainly be looking to the lads to get the 3 points this afternoon. Remember, if you're tuning in to us, doesn't seem we've got too many just at the moment, but if you are tuning in to the show, just give us a tweet at Guiseley Radio. Home or away, we'll be sure to mention you, and hopefully we will be able to bring you uninterrupted coverage of this afternoon's game. We've got plenty to bring you as well in this build-up to today's match. We'll be bringing you some of the team news. We'll have a look at situation at Vauxhall and also hear from the supporters. But first of all, Ben Parker spoke after the game to Tom after that fine 2-1 victory over Leamington.
Quick and fast now from now to the end of the season, Saturday, Tuesday.
Well, Tom Feeney with Ben Parker after that fantastic 2-1 win against Leamington, hard earned.
Yeah, definitely. I think we nailed it there. They were very hard earned. Picture was that. Can see the picture the greatest. And we know we're not going to be able to play as like passing styles, good attractive football this time of year because the pitches are bad, like we've seen, and we've got to learn how to grind out results the ugly way. And thankfully we've done that tonight.
Just how tough was it to play on this pitch tonight?
Yeah, like it's a difficult one. Like looking at it from here, from the sidelines, it don't look too bad. Once you get on it, it's so soft. It's had a lot of water over the last couple of months, as everyone's known. But it's the same for both teams. We've got to adapt to that, and the lads who have come in, boys, Kev, they've done fantastically well. It gives a different option going forward. And I thought AJ tonight, I thought fantastic coming back into the team. He held the ball up for us, gives a good platform to get out from the back four. And I thought it was a good hard victory. Yeah.
Plenty of chances for both sides. An entertaining game.
Yeah, definitely. We're disappointed with the early goal we gave away because we pride ourselves on starting well. We seem to start bright, and unfortunately give a sloppy goal away. But reaction from the boys to get the 2 goals before half time shows the character within the squad at the moment. And like I said, chances for both teams, but thankfully we came out with the right score. After
2 tough away games to come here at home and get another 3 points, moving up the table now, it's all positive.
Yeah, definitely. When we got us victory against Brackley last Tuesday, that was a great win for us down there because their team are going to be in and around the playoffs, so great to beat them. We were disappointed with the point initially on Saturday, but looking back on it, we just took probably 4 points from the 2 games, so going into the three games back-to-back at home, it was important to start tonight with a win, and we've done that, so it takes us forward into Saturday now.
Game on Saturday against Vauxhall Motors. How important is it to keep that good run going?
It's massively important, yeah. And the games are coming quick and fast now, from now to the end of the season, Saturday, Tuesday, all the time. And like I said, if we keep getting wins, it just momentum will take us into the game. So fantastic 3 points, good momentum going into Saturday now.
Thanks, Ben.
So that was Tom Feeney speaking to Ben Parker after the game against Leamington. A fine 2-1 win for the Lions against a Leamington side who've been improving in recent weeks and indeed had beaten Stockport last time out. Stockport, the next visitors to Nethermoor on Tuesday night. That will promise to be a very tough encounter. Stockport again are the team we play on next Saturday when we travel over to Edgeley Park to take on the Hatters in our first ever trip there. Again, 2 very big games for the Lions, and ones that I'm sure Mark Bauer will have down as crucial actually if again we can continue that form and continue to pick up points that we need.
Yeah, well, it is all about at the moment just getting them points on the board, and going to a team like Stockport next week, it's something to really look forward to. I think today it's a game where you can't really take anything for granted. Vauxhall are going to come here wanting to win. They want to, get a smile on their fans' faces. But run of games coming up now, looking forward to them all, and a good chance for guys to get some points on the board.
Well, we certainly hope they do. The fixtures today, we'll go through them and just have a quick look at those, Tom. Barrow take on Worcester City. Barrow in fine form at the moment, aren't they?
Well, what a fantastic job Darren Edmondson has done since he took over. He really has taken a club that looked like they were going to get relegated, and they are an outside chance for the playoffs now. They're hitting so much good form. They're playing great football. We played them not that long ago, and they beat us, and they just keep getting the results and getting the performances as well. He's done a great job. He deserves credit for that.
Yeah, certainly does. Brackley Town against Altrincham, of course, a playoff semi-final last year. Brackley came out on top of that. Nobody expected that to happen.
No, well, when you look at Altrincham and what they had last season and, what they've got this season as well, that looks like a real good game. These two sides, yet again, they're going for the playoffs, Maybe, they might try one of them to get the automatic position, but I think that will be a really tough game, and I'm actually going to go for a draw with that.
Interesting. It was a cracking game of football that we had down there a couple of weeks ago when we took on Brackley, and I've got a great advert for the game. Not so sure the game at Histon was the one that followed that, but fantastic result to get a victory down there. Excellent football team, so it'll be a very interesting match, that one. Bradford Park Avenue, they're at home to Colwyn Bay this afternoon. We'll just whiz through some of these. Gloucester City take on Stockport County. Gloucester need those points, don't they, desperately, Tom?
Oh, yeah, desperately. They've got a number of games coming up now where they're facing sides where, they're going to be looking and seeing, can we get some points from them? They played Histon during midweek, and that was a massive result for them. And, it is just a case for Gloucester. They need to get the points on the board. I've seen them play once or twice this season, and, they just seem to lack that cutting edge, and that seems to be their downfall.
As well as that, obviously, Guiseley Vauxhall Motors here on Guiseley AFC Radio. Harrogate Town versus Solihull Moors. Town have been in good form, lost at Colwyn Bay, who keep picking up the points midweek. Hensford take on Gainsborough. Hensford trying to cling on to their place, rather, in the playoffs at the moment.
Yeah, they just seem to have lost a bit of form. I mean, when they played here and they won, their manager afterwards was saying that he was expected them to drop off and maybe just squeak into the playoffs rather than be a dominant side, but they're a good side. They play good football, and if they can just get a little run going, they'll be safely in them playoffs. So it's a crucial period for them. Another
club that had quite a few problems announced this midweek was Histon. They take on North Ferriby. Not a great time to take on Ferriby, but Histon have been hit by the fact that they need something like £40,000 to see out the rest of the season. Difficulties in the boardroom there. Another good club in Histon that are struggling.
Well, yeah, when I actually read about this, and I thought they were talking about Vauxhall Motors. It said a team in this division it has money worries. So when I found out it was Histon, I really was shocked. They're such a good club. I really do like them. Their manager's a really nice guy as well in Brian, and it's just such a shame to see one or two clubs in this division go through the problems they're going through, because it's football done the right way, trying to get the homegrown players in, and it's just such a shame to see what's happen at the moment. Yeah,
and of course we had a tough draw down there last Saturday. They still seem to unearth the gems, don't they? Like you say, football done the right way. North Ferriby continue to press right at the top, although they are in second now behind Telford. And they are the visitors to Guiseley on the 22nd of March. Oxford City, they take on our last opponents, Leamington, and that's assuming that Oxford are able to get the game underway. Been hit by so many postponements recently.
Yeah, well, it's just been really surprising just how many games have been postponed at Oxford. Just when you look at Guiseley as well, when games have been called off and you've been thinking, well, the weather isn't too bad there, but it's the fact is the pitch needs time to be dried, time to be prepared, and it's just been a shame for Oxford, the amount of games they've had to call off. But, hopefully they'll get this one on today.
And finally, very quickly, Stalybridge Celtic, they take on A.F.C. Telford. So Telford will be looking for 3 points. Stalybridge struggling awfully. And as are Workington, who entertained Boston United. Heck of a trip there for Boston on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it really is when, the distance in that. But I think Boston will be confident that they'll get some points. from that game. For Workington, it has just been since their manager left, Darren Edmondson, just all unravelled a little bit, and they've just been struggling to get results, and it's a shame, but they look like the side that just at the moment can't pick up a win.
Well, just a big shout out for the Wharfdale FA under-17 side. They made it through to the final of the FA competition that affects them. They're playing at Woodlesford Park this morning. A team obviously filled with Guiseley youngsters, and that means that they've made the final for the first time, and the first time since 1967. The last time that they won that competition, so good luck to the lads there.
Fantastic achievement. I don't want to embarrass her, but Rachel O'Connor ran up to me with a massive smile on her face saying, we've won. She couldn't hide that smile. You know, it's just brilliant to see the result, because the team they were playing actually dominated every game they'd played, so to win that game is a massive result.
Well, of course, the big news this week in the Skrill North has really focused on Vauxhall Motors, and Tom Feeney caught up with the Motormen's manager, Carl McCauley, ahead of this game.
Tom Feeney joined. First goal. Tom Feeney joined with Carl McCauley, the Vauxhall Motors manager. And Carl, it's been a real difficult week. Just what are your thoughts right now?
Yeah, it's been tough, but you know, we've come to another tough place to try and get points, and we've got to be as professional as we can. We've already lost 2 players this week, and you know, I can quite understand that they've gone because they're not getting paid off the club, and they've got young families to support. So all we can do is come here and give it our best shot. We've got 8 contracted players, so that's good news if we can ever have any good news at this certain time.
In terms of next season, do you see yourself staying on as manager, or do you think it's the case that you will have to move on?
Well, I think I'm a Vauxhall Motor for now, and you know, we've got 8 or 9 games to go, and we've got to get as many points as we possibly can to go out with pride and to go out with our heads held high. So at the moment, yeah, I'm still Vauxhall Motors manager.
Do you think there's any hope in maybe the club being safe for next season and being kept in the Skrill North?
No, I think we've definitely come out the Skrill North, and we've definitely come out the football pyramid. So we've gone really low, and we've gone down to West Cheshire. So yeah, it's difficult, but to keep the club safe, I think it was the best decision the club have made. Otherwise, if we would have survived in this division, we could have quite easily gone bust.
How frustrating has it been during the last few weeks and finding out what has happened?
Yeah, it's been tough because we know what's going to happen now. We know that we're coming out of the league, and then, you know, previously to that we've been fighting to stay in the league because, you know, we were in a relegation battle, but you know, it kind of swings now, and you know, everybody's like motivation is a touchdown, which is expected, but we've got to keep fighting in every game that comes our way now. You've got players who'll be playing to put themselves in the shop window, really.
Just how nice has it been, though, the amount of support people have been giving the club over the last few days?
Oh, fantastic, brilliant. I mean, that's the only thing what can give us a lift. I mean, you read in the newspapers, it's on telly, you know, so many people supporting us. And then just before we travelled today, in our local paper, Barry Orn, the ex-Everton player, you know, sent some powerful messages across, which was really, really good. And you know, we thank everyone for supporting a small club like Vauxhall Motors.
Thanks, Carl.
Well, that was Carl McCauley, the manager of Vauxhall Motors, speaking to Tom Feeney just ahead of this afternoon's game, just about 15-20 minutes ago. And obviously a very difficult time for the Motormen. And we all stand by each other, really, at this level of football. And we all have the very best of wishes for Vauxhall, and hope that we see them recover and build from the West Cheshire League upwards, maybe once again to do battle with Guiseley in the Conference North. So great interview, Tom, but obviously very difficult for them.
Yeah, well, I think Carl, you know, he came up to me and he just said, you know, how tough this week has been. And I've got to say as well, the amount of Guiseley fans in the clubhouse who were going up to Carl and just saying, you know, we hope Vauxhall, they get back to where they deserve to be. That is the Skrill North. But, you know, it's going to be a real long road of recovery for them. You know, it's just such a shame because they're such a well-run club.
Well, of course, great sympathy from Guiseley, but there can't be any sympathy from them for them on the field, and I'm sure that's the sentiment that Mark Bauer will be giving you. Well, Tom Feeney caught up with the gaffer just ahead of the game, and this is what he had to say.
Well, Mark, after a hard-fought win on Tuesday, just how important is it to keep the run going?
Yeah, very important. You know, we've made a thing about having a lot of home games left. So, you know, when we get the home games on, we want to make sure that we make the most of them and bag another 3 points. 'Cause if we keep doing that and we can keep picking up wins with the games in hand, you know, we'll start to reel a few teams in.
Just what are your thoughts on the pitch? Because just had a few days to prepare it now.
Yeah, just being on it there, it's certainly drying. Continue to be the case between now and this coming Tuesday and get himself back in contention as soon as possible.
Oh, sorry about that. We seem to have just lost that interview. We'll just rejoin it again and see if we can get it back.
We want to make sure that we make the most of them and bag another 3 points, because if we keep doing that and we can keep picking up wins with the games in hand, you know, we'll start to reel a few teams in.
Just what are your thoughts on the pitch? Because just had a few days to prepare it now.
Yeah, just being on it there, it's certainly drying out a lot. The improved weather and sunshine, a bit of wind is certainly helping it. It's still very soft, but you know, with a lot of grass on it, it keeps drying out. And you know, Roger and the guys working on it to try and get us in the best shape possible. It'll certainly help us out, but it's a lot better today than it has been, and hopefully that'll help us.
It's a bit of a surreal situation because, of course, Vauxhall Motors have announced they won't be in this league next season. Just what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's very disappointing. They're a good club and they've competed really well at this level for many years now, and certainly provided tough opposition to us over the years. And you know, it'd be a shame that they're going, but. You know, as a team, we won't be thinking about that today. We'll be thinking about the jobs we've got to do and the threats that their players pose and any weaknesses that they might have that we can exploit. So, yeah, it's a shame because well-run club, and they've done it on a really small budget and produced really good sides. So it's a shame that they won't be around next season.
Is there any update on Reece Mainell? Of course, he came off on Tuesday.
Yeah, he had an X-ray. There's no ligament damage or breaks or anything like that, which is good news, but it's a fair old whack he got on it, so he won't be in contention to play today, but hopefully it'll settle down a lot in the time since Tuesday night, and hopefully that'll continue to be the case between now and this coming Tuesday, and get himself back in contention as soon as possible.
Thanks, Mark.
Well, that was Mark Bauer there talking to Tom Feeney ahead of the game this afternoon. You're listening to Guiseley AFC Radio, Colin Robertson and Tom Feeney. We are going to be bringing you full live match coverage of this afternoon's Skrill North game between the two sides. And of course, for the Motormen, it was a relegation battle. That's all been put to bed as far as they're concerned. The team are going to be pulling out of the league and will be playing in the West Cheshire League next season. That said, for Guiseley, it's a very much a different case. The Lions need to push on and press on and get towards the playoffs with a victory this afternoon. So there will be plenty of sympathy off the field, but none of it on the field this afternoon. In terms of the things that are happening off field, Francis Granger, he spoke to Craig Shearston to get an update on all things that are happening with the Supporters Club.
Now joined by Craig Shearston, Secretary of Guiseley Supporters Club, ahead of their match against Vauxhall Motors. So, well, it's been quite a frustrating period, the amount of games called off, but now the games seem to be back on and guys have got back to winning ways. What do you think of the game will turn out like today?
Well, I'm hoping that we'll come away with 3 points as usual, but I'm certain for one thing that we won't be seeing Mark score his 2 goals like he did last time we played these guys. We're all hopeful of a good game today. The pitch is looking good, considering it got cut up to death on Tuesday night, and we're looking forward to a good game of football in a nice afternoon.
Yeah. Especially it's with Vauxhall Motors because they're pulling out the end of this season due to money concerns. I mean, what are your thoughts on the move and what's happened to the club?
Well, it's a real shame. Non-league needs as much support as it can at this level. Vauxhall have been at this level for 12 or 15 years now, and certainly it's always a good time going over to see them at their place. It'll be sorely missed, and we wish them all the best. Supporters stick together as usual, regardless of who our particular allegiances are with, and we don't like to see anybody at this level having to take such a step as Vauxhall have taken. It's unfortunate, but I think they'll be sorely missed.
One of the biggest is some like the supporters have been connected with them for 20, 30 years. That's the ones that will hit most.
Yes, it will. I think they'll find a big change moving down several steps in the football tier, but nevertheless, it remains to be seen just how many of the current squad they'll keep and just what they'll have available to themselves going forward.
Yeah, of course, with the Guiseley squad, Kevin Holsgrove scored last game out. Back in the side, it must be quite refreshing for the team to have a bit more depth of. He was a player who was very much an integral part of Guiseley getting to the playoff semi-finals last season. So what does he bring?
Oh, indeed he was. It was looking great on Tuesday night. He brings all of his attributes. He's a big lad. He moves himself about well. He doesn't get bullied off the ball, which is the big thing up the front at the moment. He doesn't get bullied off the ball. I think a partnership with him and AJ really should be paying dividends. If we can keep him in the middle and banging balls in from the wing for him, then I think we'll see a lot more goals before the season's out.
And of course, guys with a good form, they've got quite a bit of depth building, some players who can all contribute and chip in, so it's going to be quite a bit of healthy competition in this squad, isn't there?
Oh, of course, there's always strength in depth, but those that are proving themselves are always going to be front of the list.
Yeah, and just insight for some people onto where there's a six-a-side tournament coming. What does it involve, and how is it usually arranged?
It's organised in conjunction with Guiseley Lions. They're the mainstay behind it. We raise money for their particular charity of the year, which changes every year. It's organised in conjunction with them and Guiseley AFC and the Guiseley AFC supporters. We fielded a couple of sides last year and were unlucky in the final to lose 5 or 6-1, but I'm not sure it was an entirely fair match at the end of the day. But it's a great day. Everyone should get down here, and we need as many teams supporting it as we possibly can.
So that will still be on your mind. You'll still be looking for a bit of revenge.
Oh yeah, we'll certainly be looking for revenge. We were fortunate the year before. Again, we were unlucky to lose in the final, but we should be hoping to field at least 2 teams this time.
Okay, Craig, thanks very much.
You're welcome, mate.
Craig Shearston there, speaking to Francis Granger, and just giving us the lowdown on all the supporters club views, really, on things happening on the field as well as off it, and the wonderful supporters club six-a-side, which is taking place in May. And if you're interested, sign up and join us. And just a quick call out to a couple of our tweeters before we get underway with looking through the teams. Milo, we have a dog in the crowd, which is wonderful. Milo has joined the ground, just tweeted the Guiseley Radio, so great to see that. And a good message from Tim Richards. Tim, great to hear from you, and hoping that Guiseley get the 3 points today. We'll go down the teams now, with 2 sides have just come out and getting ready, and then we'll get the thoughts of Tom Feeney. But first, just 1 to 11. Guiseley, start off with the visitors, actually. Vauxhall Motors, Zach Jones, Steve Wainwright, Louis Barnes, Tom Hannigan, Kirk McMurray, Jordan Brierley, Stephen Thames, Carl Clare, Tom Rutter, Lloyd Elams and Kynan Mason. And then for Guiseley, Stephen Drench, Andy Holdsworth, Ben Parker, Danny Hall, Danny Ellis, Jake Lawler, Wayne Brooksby, Danny Boschel, Kevin Holsgrove, Alex Johnson and Ollie Johnson. So a Guiseley lineup that includes a Ben Parker, probably at left back, I would say, Tom, this afternoon in place of Reece Maynell, and a welcome return for Danny Hall.
Yeah, the defence there, just a little bit of a reshuffle, but nothing too serious. When you look at that defence, it's a nice, strong defence. Reece Maynell and Jack Rea have just got both little knocks at the moment. They're actually sat 3 rows in front of us in the crowd having a nice chat. And, it's a shame that they're not available, but it just shows you the depth we have at this club at the moment. When you've got someone like Danny Hall who can come on, and you've got Ben Parker who can play pretty much throughout the whole of the defence. And, it just shows you just what Guiseley have got in the back 4.
Well, we're about to get underway here. The referee's just gone through the counting of the number of players, the coin toss, and Vauxhall Motors will get us underway. Shooting from left to right are the motormen towards the Bowling Green end of the ground. Guiseley playing the usual white shirts, dark blue shorts and socks. Vauxhall Motors in all yellow with green trim. And the motormen get the game underway with Tom Rutter on the right-hand side. And the ball's all the way back with Stephen Drench. Early thoughts on the formation, Tom?
Yeah, it's not that big a shock, the formation. Bowser likes, this particular formation. But, just very attacking today when you've got the likes of Ollie Johnson, Alex Johnson, Holsgrove, Brooksby. You've got 4 real attacking players there. And the aim will be to try and get an early goal, just be in a position where Vauxhall can't try and ball this game out, and get a 0-0 draw.
And no Gavin Rothery, of course, he's on the bench today, but he had a bit of a dead leg after Tuesday night's encounter, and he's always a great option to bring off the bench.
Yeah, with 20 minutes to go, having someone like Gavin come off, he really can make a difference. The pace he has and the technique he has as well. So, a good bench for Guiseley and, a good starting 11 as well.
Guiseley have the ball in their back line. It's with the centre-half, Danny Ellis. Lays it to the right-hand side where Andy Holdsworth plays it long, looking for Alex Johnson. It's going to go beyond him. And Kirk McMurray will just watch that one out of play. Of course, Matt Bauer said in the press this week that one of the things we have to watch out for is a real sort of siege mentality response from the Motormen. And that's always a realistic possibility from this side.
Yeah, they're in a position where everything's gone wrong for them this week, and it's just a case of trying to get a result today, get the fans smiling again, because, it has been such an awful week for them, and, everyone at Guiseley wishes them the best of luck for next season, hopefully not for the next 90 minutes anyway, but, it is a case that if they could get a win today, that would just put a smile on some of their supporters' faces, and I think that's what their players are playing for as well. And their manager told me beforehand it's a case that some of these players are playing for their future next season, which club they'll be at. Could they try and stay in the Skrill North with a side?
Guys, now have just earned a throw, and it's about level with the edge of the 18-yard box. An opportunity to recover the ball from the cricket pitch, and we're about to get this one thrown in by Andy Holdsworth. Goes down to the touchline where Brooksby takes it by the corner flag. Bit of trickery from Brooksby. Back to Holdsworth, into the feet of Ollie Johnson, into the area. Shows that trickery she can do so well. Into the 6-yard box. Plays it across the face of the goal. Nobody on the end of it. Straight across the face of the goal and out for a throw in on the opposite side. But good movement. Great trickery there from Brooksby and from Ollie Johnson.
Fantastic move there. And Ollie Johnson, that's just what he's got. He changed his feet and got into the area. It's a cross. It's unfortunate Holsgrove isn't near it, but nice start there by Ollie.
Header forward there from Ben Parker, out into Danny Hall rather. He's gone out for a throw. Vauxhall Motors, early goal at Harrogate Town. The Town lead by 1-0 against Solihull Moors. So Solihull Moors haven't been in great form recently. They're a goal behind to Harrogate Town, who themselves, of course, pushing so strongly for a playoff place. Vauxhall have the ball on the halfway line. Stephen Thames out to the left-hand side. Now the Motormen come forward with some conviction. They've got options for Tom Rutter on the right-hand side. Rutter takes it himself, takes a shot from distance. Stephen Drench watches it, nonchalantly pulls his arms away as it went only about 2 or 3 inches over the crossbar.
Well, Steve was really confident there that ball was not going in, but just for a second it looked like it could dip down and go in, but you've got to say Drenchy's an experienced keeper. He seemed to know what was going on there as the ball just went over the top of the bar.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, eh? But bright start from Guiseley. If you're just joining us, we're bringing you the coverage of the game between the Lions and Vauxhall Motors. Kevin Holsgrove has now got the ball on the left-hand side, skips between 2 defenders into the penalty area. 2 players on him still. Can't feed it through to Ollie Johnson. This is good stuff from Guiseley as we start this game. Taken away, though, by Lloyd Ealums. Helps it out to the left-hand side where Kynan Mason takes over for Vauxhall Motors as they search a counter-attacking move down the left flank. Infield now to Jordan Briley, and Briley plays it forward. But overhit and all the way back to Stephen Drench. Drench lofts it long, and Kirk McMurray wins the ball from Alex Johnson, but the second phase is picked up by Danny Boschel and Wayne Brooksby in midfield. Not really able to make much forward momentum in the move. But Ben Parker takes over from the left-hand side and feeds it forward towards Alex Johnson. Tom Hannigan, the captain, steps across and tackles. And now Vauxhall Motors can clear their lines. But they're well blocked there by Jake Lawler. And eventually the ball's all the way back to Zach Jones in the Motors goal.
Just a little frustrating there for Guiseley because they're trying to get forward, but Vauxhall have got that many men back at the moment. I just think for now Vauxhall's aim is to just keep the scores level, not really push too many men forward, and it is just causing a bit of frustration for Guiseley's attack.
Ball just fed back to Stephen Drench as a good attack now builds up here from the Motorman from the clearance. Kynan Nason and Stephen Thames pick the ball up, skip into the penalty area. It's good work here from Motors. Play the ball square here to Lloyd Elams. Elams gets a shot away, parried by Drench. The follow-up just blasted wide by Jordan Briley, but to no avail anyway, because he would have been called offside on that far side, but just goes to show the threat the motorman can offer.
Well, just like that, they just got into the area, and Briley's blushes have been spared by that offside flag because he's missed from about 6 yards out, basically an open goal. It's a horrible error, but, you know, it just shows you they just brought 2 men forward, Vauxhall Motors, got in, and it really made Drench, it were a good save from Elam's shot, and then Briley misses.
So, free kick to Guiseley inside their own penalty area, or the offside. They've got away with one. Can they make amends up the other end of the field? Kevin Holsgrove takes over on the left flank. Good interplay between him and Ben Parker. Picked up now by Jake Lawler. Surging forward now, Ollie Johnson. Post pass 2, feeds the ball into Alex Johnson. Johnson's offside. Guiseley so close to breaking down that Vauxhall back 4. Lovely little run there from Ollie Johnson, just showing the skills and capability he's got. Fed the ball through to Alex Johnson. Johnson just mistimed his run. Very close for Guiseley there.
Fantastic move there by Guiseley, and the Johnsons linking up. It's just a shame because Ollie Johnson, he just looked like he was going to pass, and he decided to do one more step over, and it just meant Alex Johnson was offside. But on another day, I think Ollie knows now, get that pass off just a bit earlier, and that would have been 1-0 to Guiseley.
Free kick then to Vauxhall Motors. In their side, their own penalty area. The long one forward. Finds its way through to Stephen Thames. Thames takes a deflection in his pass, but it wasn't deemed to have taken the last touch off a Guiseley man, and it's gone all the way out of touch for a goal kick. And referee today, Alf Greenwood, is just calling over Carl Clare, who's not happy about the decision. And the referee just decides that merits a quick word.
Yeah, Carl Clare, he seemed adamant that that should have been a corner for Vauxhall Motors because, you know, I'm not 100% sure. It seemed to just take a little nick, and I thought the last touch was a Vauxhall Motor player, but he was adamant it was a Guiseley player.
Clearance now from the goal kick finds its way to Jake Lawler. And Guiseley can start again down this left flank here with Ben Parker. Ben Parker's got Holsgrove to the left of him. Plays it out towards Holsgrove. Holsgrove tries to get the ball into the area towards Alex Johnson. Cut out well. And now Vauxhall can counter-attack once again. It's got quite open, this game so far. A long one forward, looking for Thames. He's in a one-on-one with Ellis. Ellis wins that battle, but at the expense of a corner.
Well, clever play there by Vauxhall Motors and Thames, because he just realises that this part of the pitch, it just doesn't bounce as much, and it meant that Danny Ellis had to work twice as hard to try and get onto that ball, but he's done the right thing, Ellis. All that experience, get it out for a corner and let the Guiseley players get back and regroup.
Corner to Vauxhall Motors. 8 minutes gone in this game on Guiseley AFC radio. The Motormen with the first corner of the game whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Parker, helped away by Holsgrove, only as far as Louis Barnes. Barnes plays the ball down the left flank, a really good ball, fed into the 6-yard box, blocked on the line by Stephen Dredge. The second's picked up again, this time by Hannigan. The captain can't force it over the line, but the Motormen have had the best 2 chances, and the home fans are now not too happy with the start. And now a great counter-attack here. Holsgrove in towards Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson just a heavy touch as he got past Louis Barnes. And in the end, that one's safely in the arms of the goalkeeper. But great movement there. Great excitement, really, in this opening period of the game, Tom.
Well, what a fantastic start to the game it has been. It reminds me a little bit of Leamington, where it was one chance for one side, then one chance for the other. But Steve Drench there, what a fantastic save. He gets down low, able to clear the ball away, and then Ollie Johnson breaks, just takes a little bobble, and that's what makes his touch be just a little bit too heavy, and it's an easy save for the keeper.
Ollie Johnson picks the ball up, though. Good interception from Ollie Johnson. Plays it into Danny Boschel. Boschel into the feet of Brooksby. Brooksby to Alex Johnson. Brooksby and Alex Johnson combine really well. Brooksby can't get the touch to get him past the defender, but Guiseley still have the ball. Kevin Holsgrove into the feet of Ollie Johnson, and eventually the morass of yellow-shirted players blocks the Guiseley attack. And now the Vauxhall Motors counter-attack starts with Stephen Thames. Thames skips past Ellis, plays it out to the right-hand side. Tom Rutters in some space down there. And he can keep it in down by the corner flag. Lays it back into Stephen Wainwright. Wainwright curls one in towards the penalty spot. Headed away, and eventually Ollie Johnson can do the sensible thing and clear up towards Holsgrove. And Guiseley want to counter-attack again. Ollie Johnson on a run down the left-hand side. Good sliding tackle, though, from Kirk McMurray. Takes a good amount of the turf with it. And Vauxhall now counter-attack once again. Very open game, this. It was Steve Wainwright tries to curl this one in. Ben Parker gets his body in the way. And then Danny Hall gets a touch to clear. Parker eventually, under pressure, gets the ball up towards the halfway line. Cleared again by Tom Hannigan, who had a fantastic chance a few moments earlier. And Guiseley now just to get a bit of head tennis going on the edge of the penalty area. Vauxhall Motors still pressing. And if Mark Bauer's worried about their spirit today, he had right to be, because they're showing plenty of it. But Wayne Brooksby shows a counter-attack, and then Kevin Holsgrove, I have to say, is very unfortunate to have been called offside, because a good ball through there by Brooksby. I don't think that was offside at all against Holsgrove, right on the line of where we are doing the commentary here. And a free kick it will be to Vauxhall.
Well, Holsgrove had held his run. He was making sure that he wasn't offside. And the moment that pass was made, Holsgrove sprinted down. And I think that's the reason the linesman has put his flag up, because Holsgrove was about 3 or 4 yards ahead of the Vauxhall Motors defender. But it's because Holsgrove has that much pace. He timed his run perfectly. He's so unfortunate.
Couple of goals in the Conference North. North Ferriby have taken the lead. They're playing Histon this afternoon. Liam King, the scorer there, and also Telford have gone one up. They're taking on Stalybridge Celtic this afternoon. So good starts for the top two. Guiseley now with the ball with Ollie Johnson. Out to the right here for Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby on the touchline. He's got options behind him in Andy Holdsworth. Gives it to Holdsworth. Holdsworth curls a good ball in all the way to the back post. Finds Kevin Holsgrove. The flag probably goes up. And another offside decision's been given by the same linesman, Jan Suchecki, on that far side. And again, Holsgrove is the man who is adjudged to have got himself in the offside position. Guiseley pick up the ball from the free kick, though, with Jake Lawler. Now Ollie Johnson takes over, about 30 yards from goal. Chips the ball in, expecting the run of Alex Johnson. It's a little bit far ahead of him, and back to the goalkeeper, Zach Jones.
Well, fantastic feat yet again by Ollie Johnson. He's just not getting the final pass right at the moment, but 10 minutes in, he really is impressing me at the moment. Just going to that offside, I didn't think it was, but in all fairness, Kevin Holsgrove didn't protest, so maybe he was just a yard offside.
Jake Lawler has the ball now, plays it into the feet of Wayne Brooksby. And back here to Danny Boschel. Guiseley currently trying to feed the ball through down the right-hand side. And once again, Alex Johnson's been given offside. Very tight decision against him by the same linesman. And the home crowd not too happy about that, Tom, fair to say.
Well, it's just getting a little bit frustrating, isn't it? 3 offsides, one after another. That time I did think Alex Johnson was offside. He just wasn't looking to his left, where the Vauxhall Motors defence had just pushed up, just making sure that AJ was offside. But, you've got to think that eventually that will be right, and Guiseley will time a run right and they'll get a chance.
Clearance from the goalkeeper, nodded on. Tapped on there by Danny Boschel. Handball against the Vauxhall Motors, number 11, Kynan Mason. And Guiseley have a free kick inside their own half. It's been a very opening start to this game. If you're just joining us here on Guiseley AFC Radio, it's 0-0 between the Lions and Vauxhall Motors. 2 good chances to the Motormen in the opening period. And Guiseley have certainly looked very threatening coming forward. And we could certainly have had a goal in the opening quarter of hour of this game. As it is, scoreless. And if you're tuning in and any comments to make on the game, use our Twitter feed, please. It's at Guiseley Radio. In the meantime, Danny Boschel has just got to watch, because Carl Clare plays a long one forward. And he's targeting Tom Rutter. Headed away. And it's out for a Guiseley throw.
Well, it really is just one of these games where both sides look really up for this match. And, a lot of long balls being popped forward by both sides as well. And it's just a case of which team will crack first, because both sides seem to be trying to use the same tactic. It's just which side can use it more effectively.
They got a 0-0 in their last time out. Vauxhall Motors away at Bradford Park Avenue on Monday night. They've now trying to defend that clean sheet again today, but the good movement here from Guiseley. Good combination, finds Ollie Johnson on the edge of the 18-yard box. He had a chance to get a real power shot away. Good 1-2 between him and Alex Johnson. He side foots it in the end, straight at the keeper.
Well, it's just one of them. If Ollie had put his laces for it, that probably would be a goal, because he had so much time and space to have a shot, and he's just tried something a little fancy.
Now Ben Parker has to clear. Guiseley just living by their nerves in the back line as Vauxhall come forward once again. Ollie Johnson's seen so much of the ball. Gives it here to Danny Boschel. Forward now to Wayne Brooksby. Good 1-2 between the two of them in the middle of the park, but they're crowded out by Vauxhall. And Stephen Thames, who started brightly, gives the ball to Brierley. Out to the left flank now, once again, using the width. Vauxhall eventually cut in and find that the move has broken down. Ben Parker takes over, gives it to Alex Johnson. Most players inside the Guiseley half still, though. Long one from Alex Johnson. Once again, a very strong back line. Catches Ben Parker out, but Ben Parker made a great forward run. And good idea from Holsgrove to feed the ball into him, but once again, caught offside. Free kick to Vauxhall.
Yeah, like you were saying, it was a good idea, but Ben Parker was about a yard offside. I don't think he was expecting Holsgrove to try and find him with a pass, which is a shame because Parker had made such a big run, but, you know, it's a case of guys are getting plenty of men forward.
Free kick goes in, headed away by Danny Ellis. Taken down now by Lloyd Ealhams. Ealhams skips past Ollie Johnson. Good ball on the edge of the centre circle. Vauxhall have players forward, but not making much headway. Then a good long ball here. Picks out Steve Wainwright, the right back. Gets the ball into the area, connected by Tom Rutter. Blasted over into the six-a-side court beyond. And another chance, though. Another good move there by the motorman.
Fantastic move. And, you know, yet again, Vauxhall Motors they don't need to bring that many men forward, but this time Wainwright makes such a big run and he had so much space. It's a really good cross and, you know, just too much of a finish, really. So much power on the shot. Goes out of play. But, you know, Vauxhall Motors, they look up for this match and they look like they won't be in a position where they're holding out for a 0-0 draw like it did sound on Monday night when they played Park Avenue.
Harrogate Town 1, Solihull 1 in the game at Wetherby Road, and Histon are down to 10. Straight red for Zach Mills there on 17 minutes, so their week goes from bad to worse. Histon trailing at the moment at home to North Ferriby United. And now playing the rest of this game with 10 men. Guiseley now have the ball here with Danny Boschel. Boschel's square here to Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson's got Kevin Holsgrove on the left of him. Up to hold on to it. Now feeds it to Holsgrove. He's down the byline. Gets the ball across the face of the 6-yard box. Good clearance comes in from Kirk McMurray. And it's gone behind for a corner to Guiseley.
Well, if Ollie had just timed his pass a little bit better, Holsgrove was in and Holsgrove's just gone up to Ollie and told him that it just took one or two touches too many, then passes to Holsgrove, and by that time Vauxhall Motors had got one or two more defenders back, so it was an easier chance for them to clear it.
Corner now to be taken. 0-0 here on Guiseley AFC radio. Wayne Brooksby whips it into the near post. Takes a deflection off McMurray again. Goal to tell you about. Brackley Town 1, Altrincham 0. Big game there, and Brackley have taken the early lead on 17 minutes at St James's Park. Another corner to be taken from the same side, the left-hand side, as Guiseley attack this Vauxhall goal. Whipped in now by Wayne Brooksby and towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Falls through a morass of players, eventually cleared by Vauxhall after Ollie Johnson has a shot at goal. All the white-shirted Guiseley players are still up on that last 30, final third of the Vauxhall half. Played forward now by Wayne Brooksby into the feet of Alex Johnson with his back to goal. Plays it all the way back to the halfway line. Patient build-up here from the Lions. Left from Jake Lawler into the feet of Ben Parker. Parker's got options ahead of him. Good ball in here to Wayne Brooksby into the penalty area. Late linesman's flag. Wayne Brooksby forces it over the net line. The flag goes up, but that was the wrong decision, Tom. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I can't believe the linesman's put his flag up yet again. And that time he took so long to put it up. Brooksby had basically had his shot by the time the linesman had put his flag up, and Brooksby looked on the side and the ball's gone in, and it really should be 1-0 Guiseley.
Well, absolute poor decision there from the linesman on that occasion. He's had 4 or 5 offside decisions, perhaps just called into it because of the previous offside strategy that the back line are playing, but in that instance, Wayne Brooksby, for my money, clearly ran past the player as the ball was being played through, after the ball was being played through by Parker. But Guiseley have had the ball in the back of the net, and it's been chalked off. Vauxhall now, who themselves have had a couple of great chances, have the ball in Guiseley's half. Picked up now by Wayne Brooksby. Very heavy tackle there by Carl Clare. No malice between the two of them, but surely Carl Clare has to just be spoken to by the referee, Alf Greenwood, this afternoon.
Yeah, you know, it's quite a harsh tackle. I've got to say, Brooksby got straight back up, didn't make a meal of it, and the two of them did shake hands straight after. But, you know, he got all of the man and none of the ball, and the referee has just had a word with him.
Danny Hall with the ball. And he plays a long one forward here, looking to try and pick out Wayne Brooksby, but it's way ahead of him and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, just a shame that, because Danny Hall just saw how much room Brooksby had on this wing, and he's just tried to put the pass in, and so much on it, and it bounces just before it hits the goal line. So, you know, too much on that by the defender.
Zach Jones with the goal kick for Vauxhall Motors. 21 minutes gone. Guiseley 0, Vauxhall Motors 0. Guys, you've had a goal chalked out for offside. Vauxhall Motors have had a couple of good chances in the 6-yard box. Good save from Stephen Drench. And in the end, Vauxhall now have a free kick just inside the centre circle. Referee saw no advantage from an earlier challenge. Not quite sure what that was for. A chance here for them to get the big men forward. Yeah,
it just seemed like a coming together between Ollie Johnson and Jordan Briley, and you know, no one made anything of it, but the referee straight away blew the whistle. He felt that there was something in it, and this is a good chance for Vauxhall Motors.
Yeah, the free kick just on the edge of the centre circle, but they've brought all the players onto the edge of the 18-yard box. It's going to go long. Stephen Drench watches the flight of the ball so well and immediately releases one of his trademark clearances towards Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby not able to get on the end of it this time, though.
Yes.
Sorry, Tom.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say it's such a shame there, because Drench picked out that pass perfectly, just not enough on it to pick out Brooksby.
Coming down the left-hand side now here with Vauxhall Motors getting the ball into the area with Barnes. Headed away by Ellis. It's gone out for a corner kick now, and another corner to Vauxhall Motors. Anyone thinking a cakewalk this afternoon is going to be sadly disappointed, because Guiseley are having a stern test here.
Well, when you look at what's happened to Vauxhall over the past week, what they've had to come up against, you'd expect their heads to be down, but then, you know, they really are playing a fantastic game of football, and both sides are going for this.
Corner to Vauxhall Motors. It's on the left-hand side as they attack the Guiseley goal. Whipped in towards the penalty spot. Headed away by Danny Ellis. The referee gives a free kick for the challenge of Tom Hannigan. And Guiseley can just take a breather.
Yeah, well, Danny did really well there to clear the ball, because he was just being pushed, 2 hands on the back, and you know, he was able to clear it even though he was being fouled, and that's the kind of defender Danny Ellis is. You know, he really does fight for the cause. But yeah, it really has been non-stop action for the first 20 minutes, and let's hope, you know, it's more like this throughout the first half, but let's hope there's a goal or two as well for Guiseley.
No doubt you can hear the ball's just been booted onto the top of the stand. And we just wait for it. It's going to be a Guiseley throw inside the Vauxhall half-back level with the edge of the centre circle on this left-hand side. Ben Parker collects. We're back underway. Lays it back to Danny Hall. Guys with players, all of the players except for Ellis and Hall, outfield, are in the Vauxhall half. So it goes long. Picks out Brooksby on the left flank. Brooksby has a run at the full-back. Goes past him. Good tackle, though. Good recovering tackle there from Steve Wainwright. And Vauxhall get the ball up to the halfway line where Stephen Thames takes it over. Good tackle, though, from Danny Hall. Takes the ball away from him. Intercepted, though, as he tried to play the ball forward by Briley. And now it falls here to Carl Clare. Clare plays some cool footwork in midfield. Lays it to the left-hand side for Louis Barnes. The fullback plays a brilliant long ball forward. Watched so well by Stephen Thames. He just pulled off Danny Hall and then just tried to make a connection as the ball went down. But I think there was an offside flag anyway. And in the end, Thames' shot was wide.
Well, that would have been a fantastic goal. He struck it on the half volley. Brilliant attempt. And it was just always going wide. And I do think the flag had gone up. But, you know, it just shows you Vauxhall Motors, they can get forward in an instant, and they have got the kind of player that can, you know, score a spectacular goal, because they've already had 1 or 2 attempts which, if they'd have gone in, would have been brilliant finishes.
The goal at the bottom of the table, it'll be bad news for Oxford City. Newton, who was a big threat, has scored for Leamington. So Oxford City trailing by 1-0. And Hensford, well, their time's getting from bad to worse at the moment. They're trailing now by 1-0. They're at home, remember, to Gainsborough Trinity. So the goals are going in around the Skrill North, but none here. Scoreless on 26. Vauxhall have a free kick. Play a long one forward. Nodded on here by Brierley. Out right here to Thames. Thames whips past Danny Hall. Hall makes a super recovery tackle. And surely there's going to be a free kick against Thames, who just barges through Hall a little bit too exuberantly. And guys have a free kick down by the corner flag.
Yeah, I think Thames weren't too happy that Hall had really had put in such a good tackle on him and got the ball and none of the man. And Thames, just a little frustrated, just decided to push Hall over. And it's a clear free kick for Guiseley, which Drench will be taking in a moment.
Yeah, just taking the time to get this going. Had a real pace about it, didn't it, that opening sort of 20 minutes or so. I'd say in the last 5, the sting of the game is just the freneticism of the match has just faded.
Yeah, and I think it felt like a lot like Guiseley v Leamington, which was on Tuesday, for them opening 20 minutes. But the difference is that game kept on going throughout the first half. This one, both sides have now just dropped back a little bit. And, you know, it'll be interesting to see how long it takes before it gets going again.
Well, it's not going to get going after that little movement. Vauxhall Motors take the ball down the left, but a rather woeful ball's gone out into touch. Don't forget, listening to Guiseley AFC radio, and Guiseley currently 0-0 at home to Vauxhall Motors. Troubled motormen this week after announcing that they are to quit the Skrill North at the end of the season to save the club and the junior sections of the club, and continue playing and enter a team at the West Cheshire League. So a big day for the players of Vauxhall Motors as they prove their worth. And as Carl McCauley said before the game when he spoke to Tom Feeney, put themselves in the shop window. Guys, you have the ball here with Danny Boschel on the halfway line. Forward here to Ollie Johnson. He's well watched by Tom Hannigan. Goes past, back, and feeds the ball to Danny Boschel. Guys, you're just patient in the build-up. And the ball now on the right-hand side here with Kevin Holsgrove, who's switched flanks. And I think it's fair to say Alex Johnson was fouled. He's pulled over there by the fullback, Kirk McMurray. And a free kick for Guiseley, a few yards outside of the 18-yard box in a dangerous area.
Well, such a cynical tackle there by McMurray, just dragging Johnson to the floor. You know, no complaints from any of the Vauxhall Motors players. And I was going to say, if there were any, I wouldn't believe it. But, you know, real good chance now, and 3 players stood over that ball, and you never know, it could be a good chance to get a goal. Danny
Ellis coming forward now to join the attacking movement, as is Danny Hall. Kevin Holsgrove stands over it. The free kick is about 10 yards out from the edge of the 18-yard box, right on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Kevin Holsgrove stands over, gets the ball, blasts it straight into the wall, gets it back from the wall, curls it in towards Danny Ellis this time, but it's defended, and then Vauxhall Motors don't really make a convincing clearance, hit touch, and it's out for a throw.
A real waste there by Holsgrove, because there's no pace in his shot, aimed right at the wall as well, and then the cross doesn't beat the first man.
Jake Lawler just tries to feed the ball forward, a long one that's gone over the back line, straight to the goalkeeper.
But, you know, it is a case that guys, they are getting the chances at the moment. It's just a case of finding that finishing touch, that bit of quality which is needed to break down a stubborn Vauxhall Motors.
Danny Ellis has got the ball in his back line, flicked in towards Wayne Brooksby. Lovely little bit of skill from Wayne Brooksby. Ollie Johnson's clipped. He takes a quick free kick, feeds it into Kevin Holsgrove. Good ball from Holsgrove out to the left flank where Alex Johnson has to chase it. He's under pressure from the full-back, Steve Wainwright, who puts a good tackle in, knocks it out for a throw.
Well, it's good to see Guiseley now. They are just starting to bring 1 or 2 more men forward like they did during the opening 20 minutes. And now it's all about trying to get that first goal before half-time.
Ollie Johnson now with the ball into the feet of Kevin Holsgrove. Out here to Danny Boschel. Just on the edge of the 18-yard box at the moment, but no pace to the move. They're just sort of teasing and prying at this Vauxhall defence. Holsgrove plays a 1-2 with him and Brooksby. cleared, but only as far as Danny Boschel. Boschel now with a chance to play the ball into the area. Ollie Johnson and Alex Johnson and Wayne Brooksby all on the edge of the D. Ben Parker's the option instead. Out to the left-hand side where Holsgrove whips this one in up towards Alex Johnson. Over him, and the goalkeeper, Zach Jones, collects.
Well, just with the amount of Vauxhall Motors defenders they've got back there right now, it's very hard for Guiseley to break them down. Although they are trying to bring 1 or 2 men forward, and Bowery's insisting on his team doing that, they're still finding it a real challenge.
Holsgrove now gets the ball as Guiseley come on a counter-attack. Ball into the area towards Ollie Johnson, past him, bounces off Alex Johnson, somehow cleared by Vauxhall Motors, picked up then by Jake Lawler as he tries to feed it out towards Kevin Holsgrove. Beyond him, and out for a throw into Vauxhall Motors, but a great chance that for Guiseley.
Fantastic move by Holsgrove, aiming his cross into the corridor of uncertainty. The Vauxhall Motors defence didn't know what they were going to do. In the end, it hits off Alex Johnson's back, and Vauxhall Motors are able to clear, but fantastic cross by Holsgrove. More like that, please.
Corridor of uncertainty, Tom. Good call.
I had to get it in.
Couple of scorelines from the Skrill North. Colwyn Bay are a goal up against Bradford Park Avenue. So the North Wales side still on great form. And Oxford City have pulled an equaliser back against Leamington. So they're only down for a few moments. Oxford City 1, Leamington 1. Guiseley are back underway here with Ben Parker. Out to the left-hand side where Holsgrove plays the ball in towards Alex Johnson. Johnson lays it back to Holsgrove. Patient build-up once again. Guiseley now finding there's plenty of yellow shirts in their way between now and the goal. Good ball through from Holsgrove. Just tries to release Alex Johnson. Pulled off his marker and was in a little bit of space. Just a few yards ahead of him. It's cleared and out for a throw. Throw for Guiseley with Ben Parker about level with the 18-yard box. Takes it into the feet of Jake Lawler. Lawler loses the ball. And Vauxhall Motors can get some counter-attacking football going here with Stephen Thames. Comes over the halfway line and takes a wicked bobble whilst he's keeping it under control and under the attention of Ollie Johnson with good defensive work from the Guiseley frontman. In the end, a heavy challenge on Andy Holdsworth. A little bit late. Gives Guiseley a free kick and relieves any pressure that Vauxhall were mounting.
I think the referee's called it right yet again, though. He's decided today just to talk to the players, have a word with them. Of course, it's been a difficult week for Vauxhall Motors and their players. And, 1 or 2 of them do look a little bit frustrated when they're not on the ball. And, I think it's just a case of that. I think it's sinking in for 1 or 2 of their players, just what's happening with the club. But I think the referee's calling it right, not being card happy, just having a word with players on both sides as well. And that's how it should be.
Ball's up to the halfway line. Jordan Brierley for the motorman. Gets the ball out to the left-hand side. Picked up now by Lloyd Ellams. Square now as a patient build-up. Works quite effectively for the visitors. Carl Clare plays it to the edge of the D. Tom Rutter takes over. Guiseley gets some shirts and bodies in the way of Rutter. And eventually just trying to get this ball clear. And Andy Holdsworth from right back plays it long. Looking to release Alex Johnson. Intercepted by Kirk McMurray, and it's out for a Guiseley throw inside the Vauxhall half.
Well, now it's a case of Guiseley just trying to get 1 or 2 more men in them attacking positions. You've got likes of Ben Parker going up as well, and just now trying to get that goal before half-time. Don't really want to be going in 0-0 after the chances Guiseley have had.
Patient from Guiseley at the moment, though. Ollie Johnson in the centre circle. He's got Ben Parker on the left-hand side in a bit of space, but can't get the ball across to him. Gives it to Danny Hall instead. Parker, square now to Jake Lawler. Lawler lays it out to the right-hand side where Danny Boschel takes over. He feeds the ball down the right flank now to Andy Holdsworth. Good possession play here by Guiseley, but patient build-up breaks down when Kevin Holsgrove just takes a heavy touch. Now Vauxhall Motors can bring the ball out themselves with Jordan Brierley inside the Motors' own half. They come over the halfway line where Louis Barnes, fullback, takes over. Cuts in field and only just over the halfway line now, the motorman. At the moment, it's not really working well for Vauxhall Motors. They feed one forward towards Tom Rutter, but they're constantly having to go back. And then a good tackle from Jake Lawler on Lloyd Ellams, wins the ball back, but then Guiseley can see possession. And Lloyd Ellams is tackled by Ollie Johnson, but Vauxhall pick up the second ball and now start to run at this Guiseley back line with Barnes. Barnes out towards the edge of the 18-yard box, takes a shot, bounces down. Kynan Mason takes over. produces a cross, which is a little heavy, and it goes behind for a goal kick.
I think that's the problem for both sides, trying to play that patient style of football, is just with the one or two bobbles there are on the pitch at Nethermoor, like just with Guiseley trying to do that, just a little bobble, then Holsgrove, he has to take a heavy touch to try and keep the ball, and he loses it, and it's just happened with Vauxhall Motors, and I think it's just one of them now. Both sides are going to have to just try and adjust their style just a little bit, just to take into account the state of certain parts of the pitch.
Gloucester City have taken the lead at home to Stockport County. 1-0 up, and there's been an equaliser for Avenue. Bob Beasley's equalised. It's now Avenue 1, Colwyn Bay 1. Still scoreless here. No goals, 36 minutes gone between the Lions and the Motormen. Picked up now by Ben Parker, plays the ball forward. And there's a groan because there's an offside flag, rather predictably, on this far side. And I'm not sure whether the linesman's had a couple of howlers or whether Vauxhall Motors are playing a wonderful back line. But again, frustrating to see that break down.
Well, yeah, it just really is frustrating. The amount of people that groaned then when that flag went up. I think fans are now just expecting the linesman to put his flag up whenever the ball's lofted up, because he's put it up every single time. So interesting to see if there's one before half-time, if he puts it up again.
Do they follow you into the second half? I can't remember whether they follow the same line or they follow the team. I think they can alter it, can't they? So you could still have that linesman in the second half. He's pretty flag happy, it's fair to say. We can't put all our woes onto him at the moment. Still scoreless. Good battling performance from the Motormen. Got a good 0-0 against Park Avenue earlier on this week. And they're coming forward now with Carl Clare, and plays the ball out towards Barnes. Barnes whips it in towards the edge of the D. Header from Danny Hall. It's going to be a Motors throw on the left-hand side, about level with the 18-yard box. And we're still struggling to get out of our own third at the moment for the last couple of minutes. Motors just on a bit of a positive streak. All played in towards the edge of the D and then all the way back to Stephen Drench in the Guiseley goal.
It's just one of them with Vauxhall Motors.
Sorry, Tom. Stephen Drench has just played a brilliant ball out here to Kevin Holsgrove. Holsgrove's taken down by the touchline. Has a run at the full-back. Can he get past him? He has. Into the penalty area. He can get a shot away. Curls it in with the right foot. Blocks by a defender at the crucial point. Picked up now by Ben Parker. Parker under tremendous pressure. Does really well. Is bundled over, and guys have a free kick just on the edge of the centre circle.
Well, I think that's the problem of talking when Steve Drench is on the ball. His distribution's so effective. That's a fantastic pass to Holsgrove. Opens the play up perfectly. And now, guys, they've got this free kick, all because of Drench and that fantastic just bit of thinking there, seeing Holsgrove in space. And it's, a 60-yard pass. Pinpoint accuracy. Great to see.
Second for Newton. Leamington now 2-1 up on Oxford City. Guisey with a free kick here. Played in by Wayne Brooksby, held by the goalkeeper. So Leamington get another free kick. And also, Harrogate Town have taken the lead against Solihull Moors. Vauxhall Motors trying to counter-attack, but the ball's just overrun and gone out of play. So we're Harrogate 2, Solihull Moors 1. And Leamington leading at Oxford City 2-1 now.
Well, that would be a brilliant result for Harrogate Town, because Solihull Moors are Harrogate's bogey team over the last 6 games. So, it'd be a big result for them. And, of course, unfortunately, it might build a gap with Guiseley.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it, to see the teams ahead of you and you think, it's so many teams up there as well. It's difficult to know what's a good result sometimes, isn't there? Solihull Moors and Harrogate Town, a draw probably best there. Ollie Johnson on the halfway line, under pressure. Plays the ball out to the right-hand side really well. Good ball here, picked up by Andy Holdsworth. Just on the touchline on the right flank. Takes it infield. Square now to Holsgrove. Holsgrove and Ollie Johnson try to combine. Johnson's beaten to it this time. And Vauxhall Motors take it away. The ball played to the left-hand side. Ahead of Jordan Briley and out for a Guiseley throw.
Yeah, just a little sloppy there by the Motormen. They had a chance there just to keep possession and try and get a few passes together, but just aiming it forward and kicking it straight out for a throw-in.
Ben Parker's taken over proceedings, taking the ball over the halfway line, out to Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby's distribution isn't what it should be this time. Brooksby battles well, wins the ball back on the edge of the 18-yard box, plays it in field, and again a poor ball from Brooksby. He's done the hard stuff, but the distribution's just not been up to scratch this afternoon. Vauxhall Motors come away here with Mason in field now and swapping play to give the ball here to Jordan Brierley. Brierley runs forward. He's got Wainwright on the overlapping run. Brierley cuts in field. Plays it in towards Rutter. And it's defended well by Guiseley, and it's going to be taken away here by Danny Boschel. Boschel out to the feet of Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson's just holding on to it for a moment. And Jake Lawler, who will play the ball out to the right-hand side. And Andy Holdsworth just loses the flight of the ball for a moment, but picks it up at the second attempt. Infield now to Danny Boschel. Boschel plays it to the other side where Ben Parker runs forward. Guys, you're making some patient headway down into the Vauxhall half here. Wayne Brooksby infield now to Jake Lawler. It's 40 yards from goal with Danny Boschel now. Boschel and Lawler just kick the ball between each other, looking for options to get towards the edge of the D. Ollie Johnson gets it and then has a rather heavy touch and gives it away to Vauxhall Motors. I'll be disappointed with that. The motormen now come over the halfway line with Rutter. Square now to Carl Clare. Under pressure from Danny Boschel. Jake Lawler tidies things up. Guiseley doing very well to recover possession on the halfway line now. Flipped forward by Kevin Halsgrove. Good pass towards Alex Johnson. But the defender, Kirk McMurray's there. And Guiseley earn a throw.
Well, yeah, really nice play by Guiseley until Ollie's touch is just a little heavy. But it was nice. Every player had a touch and then had a look.
Wayne Brooksby now gets the ball from the throw. Plays it back to Halsgrove, the throw taker this time. He's blocked. The attempted clearance by Mason is eventually helped forward by Rutter. And a throw into Vauxhall Motors.
Yeah, it just feels now like, you know, both sides, they seem to be accepting that it's going to be 0-0 going into half-time. Both sides just trying to keep possession. I think that both sides have just been guilty of being a bit sloppy with possession during this first half at times. So both sides just trying to increase their possession, just get a few passes together, and then it'll be a case of going into the second half with that aim of getting a goal.
Well, it was very open in that first 20, but since then it's closed down, as Tom's saying. No goals as yet here between these two sides. Guys, ball. Vauxhall tried to go direct with a ball out to the right-hand side. Great run from the fullback who's beaten Ben Parker. Wainwright into the area. Tries to get it across the face of goal. Blocked by Danny Hall. Corner, or throw-in rather, just down by the corner flag for Vauxhall Motors. But great counter-attacking play there.
Well, you know, talking about players trying to put themselves in the shop window, Steve Wainwright's had a really good game and a really good half so far, and has been a real attacking presence for a defender.
Throw-in's taken. Wainwright this time gets the cross in. He finds his man on the edge of the area. It's Elms. He takes a shot, curling away from goal all the time, and behind for a goal kick. Just for a moment, when you saw him lining that one up, you just thought, "Oh crikey, here's an effort coming."
Just a little bit dangerous when you leave a player of that ability outside with, you know, just a bit of room and a bit of time as well. And that shot, just for a second, it looked like it might be curving in, just curls out in the end, and Drench looked confident enough, didn't dive for it.
Goalkeeper takes it up towards Alex Johnson. Johnson goes to ground under the challenge from Hannigan. No free kick given. On the halfway line now, picked up by Clare. Carl Clare does well, plays the ball forward. A little bit over powerful is the pass, and it's easily picked up by Guiseley in the end. We're just into stoppage time. It's the last 25 seconds of normal time by my reckoning, and Guiseley have got the ball in the halfway line. No sense of urgency at the moment as we go to the break, and it's perhaps easy to see why Vauxhall ground out that goalless draw against Bradford Park Avenue on Monday, because they've been resolute. And they've lived by their nerves on a couple of occasions, but they've also looked threatening coming forward. So we have 2 minutes of added time to come. And Guiseley have a chance to get the ball out of their own half now with Danny Boschel on the halfway line. Kevin Halsgrove goes forward, feeds it in towards Alex Johnson. Just not sticking up there. The ball goes through him and back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
Sorry, Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, just really frustrating, you know. Just wanted to get that point in before time. Of just how many times guys have had the ball and it's been brought forward, and then Alex Johnson just hasn't been able to get the correct touch on, and it's gone to the keeper. It's been about 5 times now, which is, you know, a real shame during the half.
Well, a rather poor challenge comes in from Jake Lawler on Tom Rutter. And is needlessly given away a free kick for Vauxhall Motors midway through the Guiseley half, fairly central. And surprise, surprise, all the big men are coming forward. Tom Hannigan, the captain, Kirk McMurray. They've got Lloyd Ellams on the edge of the area there. Guiseley have to be on their mettle as we're into stoppage time in the first half. The ball comes in from Clare, whipped up towards the 6-yard box, headed away by Danny Ellis, nodded goalward by Kynan Mason, held well by Stephen Drench. Drench lofts a very quick one clear and heads it towards Alex Johnson. Goalkeeper comes out, Zach Jones picks it up on the edge of the 18-yard box. And needless to say, Vauxhall Motors recover possession and get a free kick when Danny Boschel bumps into Jordan Briley. Now Vauxhall Motors pick it up and look to come forward. Ellams in the centre of the park. Keeping good possession are the motormen, and then a good ball forward from Clare. Helped back towards his goal by Danny Ellis, and just for a moment looked like Mason might be able to sneak in between him and the goalkeeper, just like the opening goal for Leamington on Tuesday night. But Drench was alive to it this time and cleared.
I was just going to say, the flashbacks to the Leamington goal, it really was the case. And, you know, Danny Ellis and Steve Drench were the players involved last time, but this time Drench is alert, off his line quickly and clears it out of the danger zone.
Carl Clare wins the ball back for Vauxhall Motors, and that's it for the first half. A half that started very brightly for both sides. Both sides playing a very expansive, open game. The ball was in the back of the net when Wayne Brooksby went through and blasted the ball goal bound, but the linesman's flag, which had been a good defensive point for Vauxhall in that first 45 on several occasions, was up. And the Motors have forced Stephen Drench into a couple of saves. And it's been very, very even stuff here at Nethermoor. At the break, it's Guiseley 0, Vauxhall Motors 0.
Well, Vauxhall Motors look up for this game. They look up for the fight. The way they've been trying to get men forward, they've had some really good chances. So have Guiseley as well. And although it does say 0-0, it hasn't been one of them games where Vauxhall Motors have been putting 11 men at the back and just trying to hold out for a 0-0 going into half-time. They've had their chances, Guiseley have had their chances. Both sides need that bit of quality, just a little finishing touch, and, there would have been a couple more goals if that was the case.
Well, there's been plenty of goals around in the Skrill North. Hensford have just got an equaliser. They were trailing 1-0 to Gainsborough Trinity, and they've just scored an equaliser on half-time. We'll go through all the scores from the Football League, the Premiership, the FA Cup, isn't it, this weekend as well, when we get the opportunity. But let's just reflect on that first 45 before we do so, Tom. I mean, what a opportunity that was for Wayne Brooksby when he was put through there. But the story of the half really has been that Wayne Brooks, the linesman's flag from our perspective in terms of chances breaking down.
Yeah, the linesman has put his flag up on 6 occasions. I've got to say, on about 4 of them occasions, it does look like fine. It's offside. But it's all about just trying to break, the offside flag and break the offside trap and get the chances and get the goals. And that has been the main disappointment. Just once or twice, Ollie Johnson had the pass. He could have passed it earlier. He decided to take a touch. And it just means that, the likes of Alex Johnson, Kevin Holsgrove have made their runs already. The flag goes up. But, speaking about that Brooksby chance, Brooksby had timed his run perfectly there. Everyone saw it, And I really couldn't believe the linesman had put his flag up. And he put it up so late as well, because Brooksby had already had his shot and the keeper had tried to save it by the time the flag went up. Yeah,
it's just frustrating. I mean, they're obviously creating a very tight back line, and they look very well organised at Vauxhall Motors. You have to give them credit for that. One of the standout players, I think we were talking about him just before the break, was Steve Wainwright, the fullback. And it's rare for a fullback to really show and impress beyond his teammates, but he's been a tenacious tackler, but also very good at coming forward down the right-hand side.
Well, I think that's the thing, in defence, he's been the player that's really been putting his body on the line. But going forward, he's been showing so much pace when he's got forward, and once or twice he's cut into the penalty area, got a crossing, created chances, and he looks like a danger. And I bet at half-time Mark Bauer will be saying, Wainwright, he's a player we're going to have to look out for during that second half.
They seem to be getting the ball a lot down the left flank. Barnes, the fullback, has come forward, as has Kynan Mason, the number 11. He's been another player to watch out for. Much the shape of things that I heard from Bradford Park Avenue, the width that they use is they can use it very effectively. But in terms of when the ball's been delivered into the area, the threat from the centre forward, Tom Rutter, it hasn't been there, has it? I'm sure he'll make his words in the second half, but he hasn't looked too threatening, has he?
No, he hasn't. Tom Rutter, he's probably been the quietest player really on the pitch, because whenever he's had the ball, he's always been looking to pass the ball backwards, and he's not had a shot yet, which I'm a bit surprised. But the width that Vauxhall have shown, the Motormen have shown during the first half, has been really impressive. There's been 3 or 4 occasions where they've switched the play from left to right, caused problems for Guiseley's defence, opened the space. And, it's something that will have to be looked out for that second half. But like you were saying, now it'll be that Tom Rutter gets a hat-trick or something during that second half.
Not that we're paranoid or always convinced that the worst will happen or anything like that, Tom. I think that's just what happens to you when you support a football team and follow them. Yeah, you do begin to get a little bit paranoid. Let's just take a look at some of the scores around the leagues. First of all, we'll go down the Premier League. And a game that finished earlier was West Brom and Manchester United. Manchester United won that one by 3-0. Elsewhere in the Premier League, Cardiff City, big result for them at the moment, 1-0 up against Fulham. What a big game that is at the bottom of the Premiership. Crystal Palace are trailing by 1-0 at home to Southampton. So Southampton leading that one by 1-0. And Norwich 0, Stoke 0. The Canaries obviously needing a result after being beaten so badly by Aston Villa last week, and Stoke on a decent bit of form as well. So that's all of the Premiership games. Chelsea play Tottenham later on this evening. In the FA Cup, Arsenal have romped through to the semi-finals. They've beaten Everton 4-1. A very impressive result for the Gunners, and certainly an opportunity perhaps for Arsene Wenger to end his trophy drought that he last ended with winning the FA Cup. So into the semi-final for Arsenal, and good signs for them with Giroud scoring 2, Ozil getting another, and Arteta from the penalty spot. In the Championship, these are all half-time scorelines. Barnsley 0, Nottingham Forest 0, Birmingham City 0, QPR 1. Did have to chuckle when you hear about Harry Redknapp and all of the discussions about his team. He expected his squad and his team to be struggling against the relegation that season. QPR a goal to the good at Birmingham City. Blackpool 0, Bournemouth 0. Brighton are leading at home to Reading 1-0. Derby 0, Millwall 0. Doncaster, and a very positive scoreline at the moment. They're leading 1-0 against Huddersfield. So struggling Doncaster 1-0 up against Yorkshire rivals. Leeds United are trailing at half-time. They're losing 1-0 at home to Bolton. Middlesbrough 2, Ipswich 0, and a good scoreline here for Yeovil Town. They're leading by 1-0 at home to Sheffield Wednesday, and a battle on to try and avoid relegation. Let's go down to League One. Brentford 0, Bradford 0 is the half-time score there. So Bradford, who've had a bit of a improvement in recent weeks, disappointing defeat at home to Stevenage, who of course propped up the table, but they lost 3-2 last weekend. Brentford 0, Bradford 0 is the half-time scoreline, so better stuff from the Bantams at half-time there. Colchester 2, Coventry 1, Gillingham 0, Crawley 0, Notts County 0, Leyton Orient 0, Oldham 0, Preston 1, Peterborough 2, Crewe 1, Port Vale 0, Carlisle 1, Shrewsbury 1, Bristol City 1, Stevenage continue that fine form. They are 1-0 up against Tranmere at home. Swindon 1, MK Dons 0, Walsall 0, Wolves 1. And in League 2, it's Accrington 3, Chesterfield 0. Another good scoreline for York. They're leading at A.F.C. Wimbledon by 1-0. Bristol Rovers 1, Plymouth 1, Exeter 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Mansfield 1, Newport 0, Morecambe 1, Southend 1, Oxford 0, Burton 2, Portsmouth 0, Cheltenham 0, Scunthorpe 0, Northampton 0, Torquay 0, Fleetwood 0, so a run of very exciting games, probably as exciting as this one we've got here at Guiseley, and Wickham 0, Hartlepool 1. So some results coming through from the Conference Premier. Let's bring you those. Alfreton 0, Lincoln City 0. Of course, Alfreton, surprise package in the Conference Premier this season. Really pressing at the top end. Could get themselves a playoff berth. Lincoln City have had a torrid time as well during this season. It's 0-0 there. Barnet 0, Gateshead 0. Barnet and Gateshead both have aspirations of getting those playoffs. 0-0 down in the Barnet's stadium there in London. Braintree 1, Hereford 1. Braintree will be delighted just to get a game underway. Really been suffering with the postponements. We know how they feel. A cracker at the new lawn. Forest Green 2, Cambridge 2 is the half-time scoreline. I saw that Cambridge were leading in that game, so Forest Green have battled back there 2-2. Hyde 0. Is it part of the name? I think is beginning to be the joke at the moment. Hyde 0, Halifax 2. So the Shaman getting the expected result you would imagine they would get against terribly poor performing Hyde. Macclesfield 0, Grimsby 1. Nuneaton 0, Welling 0. Salisbury 0, Luton 0. So Luton not leading. Tamworth 0, Aldershot 0. Such a big game down at the bottom there. Aldershot and Tamworth both in that bottom four. Woking 0, Southport 0. And Wrexham 0, Kidderminster Harriers 0 at half-time here. So we'll just wait to see if we get any Skrill North results at half-time. It's just confirmations going through. We've been giving you the scorelines as we've been going through the game. But Tom, any real scorelines just in the world of football generally there have taken your eye?
Well, yeah, in the Premier League, Cardiff beating Fulham is a massive result. When you look at where both teams are positioned, you know, it's a massive result for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because one or two fans were just starting to question Solskjaer's position at the club, even though he's not been in for that much time whatsoever. But that's the world of football nowadays. You lose a few games, immediately you're questioned. I've got to say, it's a massive win for Manchester United, with David Moyes sending the letter to all the fans promising results would improve. I think it's the game many thought they'd win, but it's the case that he would have had egg on his face if they'd have lost today so soon after sending them letters out. Well,
it's been the impossible job, hasn't it? I think he's really been put through the ringer, but not a great Manchester United side, and no surprise really that there was always going to be a real problem when they transitioned from Alex Ferguson to a new manager. Just going back to this game then, let's have the words of, let's just get a view, an alternate view on the first half. Francis Granger's been doing the Twitter and has had his opinions on the first 45 and been tweeting them to the world. Francis, what have you made of that first 45?
I think it's been pretty end-to-end. I think it's been quite even. Vauxhall have looked quite dangerous on the break, particularly on the right wing. I think guys who've done well to defend. They've put in a few dangerous crosses right near the 6-yard box. I have to say, Kevin Holsgrove has I think stood out for me in the guys team. I think he's been behind a lot of their plays. He's looked excellent. Ollie Johnson looks lively, and I think it could go either way.
Well, it's not great, is it? We don't want it to go either way. We want guys to get the 3 points, don't we? I mean, we really need to get the win this second half. What do you think Matt Bow will do to change it?
Well, I think if he either brings on Danny Forrest or Gavin Rothery, I think we've got two fine players who could turn it. I think it might be worth getting Gavin on because he's shone this season. He's provided a lot of assists. He's getting back to his old form, and I think maybe if it's still quiet by the 60th minute, maybe bring him on.
Well, thank you, Francis, and I hope you enjoy the second half. He'll be doing all the tweeting and the twittering for Guiseley, and as ever, a valuable contribution. And we're just waiting for the two sides to come back out. Let's go down the Skrill Conference North scorelines at half-time. We were bringing you the results as they were coming through, as the two teams are still in the changing rooms. Barrow 0, Worcester 0 is a half-time. No scoreline there. So Barrow, as yet, haven't really continued that winning streak that they've been on. Fought back from 2 down on Tuesday night to get a good draw, didn't they, Tom? And they'll be one you'd expect would go on and get 3 points in their current form against Worcester City. Brackley 1, Altrincham 0. Big result that at half-time.
Well, it'd be a fantastic result for Brackley. You know, them two sides, you've got to expect that they will be back in the playoff places like they were last season. And when them two play, just like when Guiseley play both them sides, it's such an even game. you know, you can call it either way. But if Brackley were to win that, that'd be a massive 3 points.
Elsewhere, Bradford Park Avenue 1, Colwyn Bay 1. Interesting game, that one, isn't it? Colwyn Bay in fine form and pressing up the league. Gloucester City are leading at home to Stockport County at half-time, as we heard. That was 1-0. Guiseley Vauxhall Motors, obviously scoreless, but stands out. It's only one of 3 scoreless games at half-time. Harrogate Town 2, Solihull Moors 1. Big scoreline that for Harrogate. Hensford 1-1 with Gainsborough at half-time. As we understand, Histon 0, North Ferriby 1. They're down to 10 men. Histon, £40,000 they need. It's all going wrong for them, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, well, this week, Vauxhall, you know, were dealt, you know, even worse news than that. They've put in a brilliant performance. You know, they've looked good. For Histon, it's been a case of down to 10 men. They're facing North Ferriby, a side that are already leading and have so much going forward. You know, it looks like it's bad days. Going to be a bad game for Histon. Hopefully, they can turn it around and do Guiseley a favour and take a few points off one of our playoff rivals.
So quickly, the other 3 just before we get back underway here. Oxford City 1, Leamington 2. So Leamington coming away with a good scoreline there at the moment. Stalybridge Celtic 0, Telford 1. Well, there'll be too many surprises at that. And Workington and Boston United 0-0. The 2 sides are back out on the field here at Nethermoor. And Guiseley will be shooting from left to right as we watch it in the second half here towards the Bowling Green end of the ground. If you're familiar with Vauxhall Motors in an all-yellow strip with green trim, shooting towards the railway end. Guiseley get us underway with Wayne Brooksby and Kevin Holsgrove combining nicely and coming forward with some purpose in the very early stages of this. A cross in towards the oncoming Alex Johnson is cut out by Zach Jones. And at half-time here, we kick this second half out underway, 17 seconds gone. And we've had quite a bright attacking movement. It looks like it's going to be a replica of the opening starts of the first half, because forward come Vauxhall Motors. This time the ball's too high and it's safely in the hands of Stephen Drench, who clears immediately and looks to set Kevin Holsgrove away, Tom. Open start.
Yeah, it most certainly has been. I think Mark Barry must have had a word with the players and just told them to, try and get an early goal, because the way Brooksby went forward with that purpose, it's, a nice little bit of play between him and Holsgrove. And unfortunately, there wasn't really anyone in there, but it's that purpose, just trying to get that early goal in the second half. If they can do that, then hopefully it'll be 3 points for Guiseley.
Ball's just bouncing up in the air at the moment. Cleared by Ellams. Lloyd Ellams then loses out as Ollie Johnson comes down the left-hand side, plays it in towards Alex Johnson. Taken away from him. And the ball's cut in field. Jake Lawler takes a rather poor touch, gives it straight to Vauxhall, who come down here on the left-hand side. Good combination between Thames and Mason. A shot comes in from Thames, blocked by Danny Ellis on the edge of the area. Cleared by Danny Hall. Alex Johnson this time is bundled over. And a free kick to Guys in the halfway line.
Well, that just shows you how Danny Ellis does put his body on the line. He realises he isn't going to be able to save the ball with his chest, so he just decides, I'm going to take this full on the face. It knocks him back, but that's the kind of bravery he has, and it saves a shot which was going on target. You never know, it might have been a goal, and now Guys, they have this free kick.
Hall takes a free kick, sends it down the left-hand side from the halfway line, finds Ollie Johnson on the edge of the area. He dribbles around a couple of players, takes a shot that is, well, pretty poor, to be honest. It's high and wide, as you could probably tell from the groans in the crowd. Leant back, got right underneath it, and it was a real rugby conversion, wasn't it, in the end? Yeah,
it goes way over the post. I've just got to say about Johnson, he's got so much quality. He's so good with his feet. It's just a case of just that final touch, that final finish, that final pass. He's just not getting it right during this game, which is a shame, but hopefully he's got 45 minutes to change that.
He's not been playing the full 90, Ollie Johnson. He's a man who's been plagued with injuries over the years and is coming back to his prime, really, in football. And he's on the ball now and running at 2 or 3 players. Closed down, perhaps just trying to do a little bit too much with it. Vauxhall counter-attack. They send a long one forward. Stephen Drench has to come out of his area, play a good sweeper role, plays it up towards Kevin Holsgrove. And we have had the change of linesman. We're going to get the red flag this half. But nonetheless, the result's the same. Kevin Holsgrove has been flagged offside. Darren Watling this half. And Guiseley have given away a free kick.
Well, just frustrating there yet again that Guiseley caught offside. That time Holsgrove was a yard off and there's no complaints, but hopefully that will change.
Ball goes forward from the goalkeeper, headed away by Danny Ellis, picked up now by Barnes, dispossessed by Wayne Brooksby on the halfway line. Ball too far in front of Kevin Holsgrove by Brooksby in the end. He did well to win the ball back in the first instance, but in the end it's all the way back to the goalkeeper without much threat. The goalkeeper plays it out to Ellams, who opts to give it straight back to Jones. Zach Jones then lays it out to the feet of Hannigan. Hannigan launches it forward, and this time it's easy for Danny Hall to collect. The ball sort of goes dead in one of those patches of cut-up turf, but the pitch looking in reasonable nick. It's obviously been a lot better in its time, but at the moment the conditions and the troubles that we've had with the weather, given all of that, it's in pretty good shape. Guys are coming down the left now with Ollie Johnson. He's holding the ball and shielding it, rather, from Vauxhall defender, so he goes back onto the halfway line. It's going to be played forward here by Hall. Hall feeds it in towards Alex Johnson, cut out well by Ellams, and then in the end it's gone out, and there's a bit of a confrontation between Danny Boschel and his opposite number, and the referee just comes across to have a word with the two of them. And I'm not quite sure what that was all about, Tom. I don't know if you had a better view of it.
Yeah, well, he just seemed to go in on Danny just a little bit strongly. He got the ball. He's actually given. I think the referee's given a free kick for it, but it just a little bit of force in that tackle. I don't think there was any malice in it. It was just a little bit stronger than Danny liked, and Mark Bauer immediately ran out and just said, you know, he's gone in there a little bit tougher than I'd like.
Free kick to Guiseley, about level with the edge of the centre circle on the left-hand side. Whipped in by Parker, up towards the head of Ellis. Ellis flicks it onto Jake Lawler, into the feet of Holsgrove. Holsgrove spins and shoots with the left foot. Not the power he wants, easy for the goalkeeper. And immediately Vauxhall come down the left-hand side with Mason. Good ball in here to Thames. Thames on the edge of the area on the left flank. Plays it with the outside of the boot in towards the 6-yard box. Claimed by Stephen Drench. And in the end, it's easy for Guiseley to defend. Drench goes for the long one. Alex Johnson beaten to it. And Guiseley have been picked out up front, and it's a chance for Vauxhall to come away with the ball. Played forward by Barnes. Rutter, who's not really looked all that ineffectual today, just nods the ball on, but Guiseley recover it with Boschel into the feet of Holsgrove. Holsgrove comes forward now with the ball, has a run at this back line, plays the ball in towards Alex Johnson. Johnson's flagged offside. It was ahead of him anyway. And all told, actually, that combination of Holsgrove and Johnson this afternoon just hasn't seemed to come to life as yet.
No, you know, against Leamington on Tuesday, it was a case that they were passing to each other free-flyingly. Just during this game, it's a case that they always seem to have too much on the pass, too much power on each pass, and then they're losing possession. And it's just a bit frustrating and a bit weird that they, you know, just acting like they haven't really played with each other that often, yet on Tuesday it went so well for them.
Well, guys, you now have the ball with Ollie Johnson down the left side. He's cut in field, having a run at the defenders again. Feeds a lovely ball in here to Alex Johnson. He's onside. He's beaten the back marker. Can he get a shot away? The goalkeeper blocks it. No power on the shot. The clearance is completed, and it's laid back and eventually away by Vauxhall Motors up towards Rutter, who just nods it on to goalkeeper Stephen Drench.
That was a big chance for Alex, massive chance, and the keeper's done really well. Just got to say as well, Wayne Brooksby was in an offside position. He realised that and made sure he didn't make any contact with the ball. And it's, you know, good all play by Guiseley. Hopefully now they can start to get 1 or 2 goals.
Well, it's been much more in one-sided than it was in the first half in this opening spell of the second, only 52 minutes into this game. But Guiseley have had the best chance they've had perhaps of the game when Alex Johnson was sent clear there. Alex Johnson's on the ball again. He's looking to turn his man. He does well, but he's being pulled back. Surely a free kick's in the offing. Referee doesn't want to oblige. Ball into the feet of Andy Holdsworth, and now to Kevin Holsgrove. Again, a poor ball from Holsgrove. Takes it away from Johnson and cleared by Vauxhall out into touch for a Guiseley throw in their own half.
I think that's the problem with Alex Johnson. He's so tough and he doesn't like to go to the ground at all. You know, but there's a player clearly pulling his shirt, and it's the referee, if he falls to the floor, Johnson, it's a free kick. But because he done, the referee decides for the play to go on, and then Guiseley lose possession because of it. So maybe Alex might just have to go down once or twice when he is genuinely being fouled.
Holsgrove has also got a bit of a tug on the shirt, but it's picked up now here by Louis Barnes. Barnes plays the ball forward towards Rutter. Rutter goes for it. Easily defended by Danny Hall. And then Stephen Drench clears up towards Alex Johnson. The header's won. Jake Lawler wins it back in midfield, nods it forward with some power, but it's just picked up by Hannigan. The Vauxhall Motors captain lays it back to the goalkeeper. And then Zach Jones's clearance is nodded out into touch by Ben Parker, and it's a Vauxhall throw in the halfway line. What looks like a foul throw there as well, Tom.
Yeah, it did. Mark Bowers just pointed and said that's a foul throw, and the referee ignored it, but, guys, they've now got possession back.
Yeah, really well worked there by Alex Johnson. Good power. Plays the ball now into Brooksby. Brooksby releases Holsgrove. He's onside. Skip gets the ball over the goalkeeper, but somehow can't get it onto target, and it's gone behind for a goal kick, but a second great opportunity for Guiseley. A well-worked move. All started with Alex Johnson showing great power and muscle to fight off two defenders. When the ball fell to Kevin Holsgrove, you'd have put your money on him scoring. He got it over the goalkeeper, but didn't get it on target.
Well, fantastic play by Alex Johnson in the first place to set it up, but Kevin Holsgrove, he's in his one-on-one, chips it past the keeper, and Holsgrove, he just for a second looked like he was going to celebrate because he just threw one of his arms in the air. He then turns around and realises it's not gone in. I think he hears the groans from the crowd, and it's a massive chance for Guiseley, and unfortunately for Guiseley, it hasn't gone in.
No goals anywhere as yet in the second half in Skrill North. Headed on by Ollie Johnson. Flicked on by Rutter. Rutter's looking to pick out Stephen Thames. It's gone out in to touch for a throw. Thrown back to Stephen Drench. And Guiseley can start another build-up here with Danny Ellis. Beginning to turn the screw a little bit. They've had two great chances in the second half. Still 0-0 though if you're just joining us. Ellis with a good ball down this right-hand side. Holsgrove collects. He's gone down to the touchline, but he can get a cross in. Plays it in with the left foot. Oh, almost in the back post there. Headed away by Hannigan. Is still in that penalty area. Ollie Johnson gets a snapshot away. Straight at the goalkeeper. But good move again by Guiseley. And the pressure beginning to mount.
Well, that's more like it from Guiseley. This time Ollie Johnson with it's an improvised shot. It's on target. The keeper has to save it. Fine, it's quite an easy save, but good to see Ollie Johnson getting in the right areas and getting a shot on target, and just all them positives now. It just feels like it's going to be leading towards a goal or a big chance at the very least.
Just at the other end, Vauxhall Motors take the ball forward. It's well defended by Holdsworth, and he gives it back to Wayne Brooksby, who goes for one of his runs. Plays a good ball in towards Kevin Holsgrove. Well watched, though, to McMurray. Give him his dues. He watched that very well. And Vauxhall come away with possession now over the halfway line. Good run here from Clare. Clare gets the ball in towards Thames. Thames is offside. And this time we get the benefit of the flag at the other end. And it's a free kick to Guiseley.
I was going to say that time I wasn't 100% sure whether Thames was offside or not, because Thames looked just like the linesman and put his hands up and said, is that really offside? Because he looked like he timed that run.
Ball just bouncing in the, I was going to say bouncing in the Guiseley half. But as it came down to ground, it just went dead. But fortunately, Danny Ellis watched the flight of the ball very carefully and cleared. Back into Vauxhall territory, but no avail. And Guiseley now have to defend in their own half, whilst Vauxhall go in search of the ball. The ball's very comfortably sent back to Stephen Drench. And in the end, a long one forward is taken down by Guiseley. Eventually, the ball finds its way fortuitously to Alex Johnson. He's undone by a bobble, though, and the ball doesn't kindly fall for him, and now the counter-attack was on for a moment there for Vauxhall. Well defended by Danny Ellis. Ball back on the halfway line with Wayne Brooksby. He's got three players around him. Skips past them all. Does really well here. He's got Ollie Johnson to the left. Doesn't find him. Plays it towards him, but cut out by Steve Wainwright. Wainwright's anticipation excellent once again. Plays it forward now from Wainwright to Rutter. Boschel gets the challenge in, but Vauxhall still have the ball here with Clare. Carl Clare out to the right-hand side. And now Vauxhall come infield and earn a free kick after Danny Hall's gone in on, I think it's Thames, and it's going to be a free kick to Vauxhall in a pretty dangerous position this, Tom.
Yeah, and it's the first real time where Vauxhall will have a chance to get some men in the area, but just for guys, it's just so frustrating. All the right passes, and then just when they get into the final third, there always seems to be a Vauxhall Motors defender in the way, especially Wainwright, who's intercepted so many passes throughout the match. But, you know, this is just one of them moments, the guys, that they're going to have to be on their guard.
Free kick to Vauxhall Motors. They're about 15 yards out of the away from the edge of the 18-yard box, right on the right-hand side, about level with the angle of the area. Whipped in now, flicked on by Jake Lawler. It's gone behind for a corner, the first corner of the second half for the Motormen. And there's been a goal, and it's come at Barrow, and it's Daniel Untai who scored for Worcester City. So Barrow are losing. They were losing on Tuesday, but fought back to 2-2. But they've been on a fine unbeaten run, and they're trailing at home to Worcester City this afternoon. Guiseley now have to defend this corner. Vauxhall Motors. Carl Clare has the ball on the left-hand side for the corner. Whips it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's taken a deflection, flicked on, but eventually we can breathe a sigh of relief because there was a free kick for a push. But a little bit of a nervy moment there for Guiseley.
Well, yeah, it most certainly was, because when it was headed across, it did just for a second look like that a Vauxhall Motors player was going to get their foot on the ball and get the goal, but the referee blew his whistle. 100% sure what for, but glad he did.
Now the ball's being picked up here by Lloyd Elams. Elams has got options in field. It's Carl Clare. And Vauxhall just enjoying a bit more possession, but then it's let very poorly free through here for Kevin Holsgrove, who's come on the counter-attack, gets it into the area, takes a shot weakly with the left foot. Goalkeeper went down. Very poor finish from Holsgrove, straight at the goalkeeper. Guys, he had it surely the best chance of the game there, but it all came from a poor piece of possession play from Vauxhall Motors. A good ball from Parker, found Holsgrove on the right-hand side, clear of the goal, only the goalkeeper to beat. Oh, what a finish that was, Tom.
Oh my God.
And not for the good reasons.
Well, there's just no pace in his finish. What I've got to say is Alex Johnson has made a fantastic run, got into the area. He's free. It's a simple pass. Johnson made sure he were onside as well. Holsgrove goes for the shot, fine, but there's no pace to it, and it's such an easy save for the keeper. That really was the chance of the match so far.
Ollie Johnson now with the ball, plays it into the area, this time collected by the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper plays a clearance, which is well won by Danny Hall. Guys, who were just beginning to feel that the game was turning a little in Vauxhall Motors' favour for a moment or two, but now they've really taken back the ascendancy in terms of possession. Can they turn it into goals? Brooksby plays it into the area. Alex Johnson not able to get on the end of that one. The clearance up to the halfway line. Jake Lawler and Ben Parker deal with that one, but then Hall gives the ball straight away. Has to go in for quite a challenge here, Hall. And it's won here by Carl Clare. Ball goes over towards the front men, Tom Rutter, but this time there's an offside flag. Referee just allows the game to continue because Stephen Drench collects it. And Danny Boschel comes over the halfway line now for Guiseley. Forward now into Wayne Brooksby. Guys, you've had 3 great chances to score goals in this second half. One-on-ones that have just not been finished with the desired efficiency. And at the moment it's still goalless. And looking like, if it stayed this way, Tom, you would really look at this as 2 points thrown away. Most
certainly. Maybe not during the first half because both sides really were in the match, but the second half, guys have taken the control, and you know the amount of chances they've had, 3 massive chances, really should have taken one. You know, right now it would feel definitely, like you said, 2 points dropped.
Clearance from the Vauxhall keeper, Zach Jones. And guys, he just let the ball go out into touch after a rather heavy touch from Vauxhall Motors' Carl Clare. And now a long ball forward from Danny Ellis. Finds Kevin Holsgrove. Holsgrove takes it down well. Onto the edge of the D. Takes a shot with the left foot. A drive. A pile driver, but this time he couldn't keep it down. And it's over the bar and behind for a goal kick.
Just yet more frustration for Guiseley. Kevin Holsgrove there, getting into the right position. Has his shot, goes right over the bar, and Holsgrove on another day would have had a hat-trick. He's had the chances and he just hasn't been able to take them as of yet.
A couple more goals in the Skrill North. Telford are now 2-0 up. Telford, of course, are at Stalybridge Celtic, so Stalybridge Celtic 0, Telford 2. And it's Oxford City 2, Leamington 2. So Oxford City getting back on level terms in that scrap for escaping relegation. And 2 seems to be the magic number at the moment because that's the number of substitutes Guiseley are warming up in front of the dugout. Ollie Johnson now has the ball on the left-hand side. Good one through to Kevin Holsgrove. Offside flag up again. Darren Watling's flag up once again, and it's Gavin Rothery who is looking to come on alongside Adam Boys by my reckoning, Tom. Who would you reckon to be making way?
Well, I think Ollie Johnson looks like he will be coming off. Yes, he is. And I wouldn't be sure who the other player would be. Maybe someone like Holsgrove.
Well, there we go. We just wait for the confirmation there. Alex Johnson it is who's coming off, and that's that actually doesn't surprise me. I did think actually this could be a game for Adam Boys. He's been unfortunate, has he, in terms of not getting the ball over the white line. He's taken up good positions, shown good skill, but just not being able to get the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, he's done everything right so far, but scored. And today it's just one of them games. He could be the hero. He could convert a chance, and then his confidence would be up. And then you never know, for the next few games he might be on a roll. But yeah, it's a sub where Boys has come on and he'll be looking to make a big difference.
Now the ball with Vauxhall Motors in the middle of the park. It's Carl Clare who feeds one forward. Cut out by Ben Parker, picked up by Gavin Rothery. Rothery who had a bit of a knock on Tuesday night. Obviously sufficiently recovered now to play his part in the final 25 minutes or so of this game. Ball forward and put out into touch by Steve Wainwright. Gavin Rothery wants to recover possession, but Steve Wainwright decides he's going to run away with the ball. Rothery takes over, looking very sharp at the moment as he's come on. Plays the ball into Danny Boschel. Boschel has options ahead of him, plays it in towards Adam Boys. Boys is lurking behind. It takes a defender headed by the defender to knock it out into touch. And Guiseley have a throw-in.
Good play by Boys, putting the defence under pressure and causing this throw-in, which Guiseley will be trying to get something from.
Holsgrove now takes it from the throw-in inside the penalty area, gives it back to Brooksby. Brooksby tries to play a little ball between two defenders, can't do so. Goes through, goes to ground. Referee now will book Brooksby for simulation. And I have to say, I think he probably deserves that, Tom.
Yeah, it's a real shame to see it, but that really was clear as day. Wayne Brooksby gets past two defenders. He's overhit his pass, and both defenders have pulled out. They've actually just moved out the way, and Brooksby falls to the floor. He's laughing about it. He knows what he's done, and he's taken the yellow card with a pinch of salt.
Well, it's a yellow card, so he'll have to watch any challenges now in the last stages of this match. 0-0 if you're just joining us here on Guiseley AFC Radio. Guiseley have spurned 3 gilt-edged chances in the second period. One-on-ones with the goalkeeper, but each time it's been poor finishing that's let them down. And now Vauxhall come forward with Brierley into the edge of the area where Thames can get a shot away. Good block from Andy Holdsworth. And now Lloyd Ellams goes forward and is pulled down by Danny Hall, and a free kick to Vauxhall Motors in a very dangerous position right in the edge of the D.
Good footwork by Ellams. He's tricked one or two Guiseley defenders, and what a fantastic position this is for the Motormen to just get a shot on target and try and test Steve Drench.
Free kick to Vauxhall Motors. 0-0 here. 67 minutes gone. Guys, have made 2 substitutes. They've had 3 one-on-ones. But this is a chance here for Vauxhall Motors to spurn the odds of this game and give what's been a pretty woeful week a bit of joy. Free kick to be taken by Clare by the looks of it. Clare steps up with the right foot, curls it in, blocked by Ben Parker in the wall. Second phase is still with Vauxhall Motors. Barnes curls the ball to the other side where Vauxhall have a man on the overlap. It's Steve Wainwright again who collects back here to Brierley. Brierley does well, turns, tries to feed the ball into Wainwright. Well watched by Ben Parker, picked up by Rothery, taken up towards Adam Boys. Good touch from Boys, but then it's beaten to it as the ball sort of takes a wicked deflection in the turf. Vauxhall can't really capitalise. Good ball from Jake Lawler, in the tackle, and now Guiseley come down the left-hand side with Kevin Holsgrove. Holsgrove takes it down well, gets it towards the centre of the field. His centre is over Adam Boys, and it's gone out on the other side for a throw-in.
Well, yeah, again, Adam Boys has just come on, but, you know, in previous games, he's in the perfect position. He's just waiting for a pass along the floor. Kevin Holsgrove decides to put a cross in the air, and such a shame because it goes straight over Boys' head, but he was in perfect position for a tap-in.
Still 0-0. And Guiseley have the ball in their own half. Danny Boschel goes forward and gets the ball onto the left-hand side where Ben Parker takes over. Gives it to Gavin Rothery. Rothery, 2 players around him. Plays it off one of them. Gets a throw for his efforts. Taken short to Holsgrove. Picked up by Danny Boschel. Back here with Parker. Just very patient build-up once again here from Guiseley. Fed through by Rothery to give Boschel a chance to cross. His cross is cut out well by Hannigan. Shout from the home fans of handball, but not anything given by the referee. And now a chance for a counter-attack. Rutter takes it down on the halfway line. Vauxhall Motors move very freely down this left flank, and Kynan Mason is free down this left side. He goes towards the touchline. He's got 2 players in field if he can find them. Finds Rutter in the penalty area on the edge of the 18-yard box. Rutter's shot is blocked by Holdsworth. Bounces up into the air. Taken down again by Vauxhall. Rutter has a second bite of the cherry. If he can cross, he's got 2 or 3 men in the area. Crosses towards the back post. Nodded away by Parker. Picked up by Ellams. Fired at the goal, but easy for Steve Drench to take that one down. And the counter-attack. And the free kick is given against Kevin Holsgrove, much to the disgruntlement of the Guiseley fans who felt it should have gone the other way, Tom.
Well, Holsgrove was just getting really frustrated, and for the first time he decided, well, if you're going to pull my shirt, I'll pull yours as well. And he pulls the shirt, and the referee immediately blows and gives the free kick to the Motormen. You know, just there, it's just a case Holsgrove's shirt has been pulled throughout the match, so it's been really frustrating for him.
Oh, and now a free kick's been given from their free kick. Another very soft free kick by this referee. A couple of poor decisions, poor moments, actually, I'd have to say. Steve Thames, definitely fortunate recipient of a alleged nudge in the back by Danny Hall, but now, guys, you have to watch this. Again, 8 yards out of the edge of the D here. Central, dangerous position this, Tom.
Well, yeah, it most certainly is. You know, during the first half, the amount of times Alex Johnson were pushed, first time a Vauxhall Motors player's pushed, free kick.
Free kick to Vauxhall, Central, 0-0 at the moment. Free kick's pretty woeful, over the bar and behind for a goal kick. But Guiseley now need to ramp this up somewhat because we have 19 minutes left and it's still goalless. It's not been a classic and it offered so much more in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, it most certainly did, and the amount of times Guiseley have been getting forward during the second half, you know, it's just over the last 10 minutes it's slowed down now, and you're just hoping they can put, you know, at least 1 or 2 big chances in the next 20 minutes.
Wayne Brooksby picks the ball up now for Guiseley, plays the ball to the left-hand side, finds Kevin Rothery in the area, goes to the touchline, Rothery gets it across the face, a goal, no one on the end of it. Out for another throw-in once again. Just that final ball, that final finish, that final touch lacking.
Well, that time, Rothery's ball, he's got Holsgrove near post, Boys far post, and somehow he manages to miss both of them. Too much on it for both and goes out for a frame, but that is a massive chance for Guiseley. And, you know, how many more will Guiseley get during the last 20 minutes? Hopefully there'll be a few, but one of these chances soon.
Frustrating. Guiseley have just conceded a free kick. All credit to Gavin Rothery. I mean, did really well to get in the position in the first place. You just wonder as well with the turf, when you watch it from here, it is still soft and it's cutting up. And you just see the way the ball, when it's played on the ground, isn't predictable, is it?
No, I think that's the whole thing. You know, Rothery maybe a bit harsh on him there with saying he'd overhit it. It did just look like for a second like it may have bobbled up, like so many passers have. And you know, it's just now a case of just trying to get used to this turf and making sure that Guiseley are able to take advantage of being at home and playing a team that, you know, have had such a bad week.
Well, the goalkeeper's just been told to get on with it, Zach Jones. Referee's gone and had a word with the captain, Vauxhall captain Hannigan, telling him next time he does that, I'm booking him. Guiseley win the ball back, and now Gavin Rothery, who's made a difference since he's come on, plays the ball down the left-hand side towards Holsgrove. Holsgrove is shadowed by the defender. Plays it back to Rothery. Can Rothery do something here? Cuts in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. This time the defender gets the better of it, and Vauxhall can counter-attack. Good tackle from Danny Hall. Picked up now by Ben Parker on the halfway line. Gavin Rothery now has a man on him, plays it forward in towards Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby down the left flank towards Kevin Halsgrove. Halsgrove's offside, and there's going to be another free kick for Vauxhall.
Well, it's getting just a little bit repetitive, the amount of times Guiseley players have been caught offside. That time I've got to say, I do think Halsgrove was just a yard off. The Vauxhall defence had made sure that they were in a perfectly straight line, and Halsgrove was the wrong side of that. So, you know, it's just a case now. Guys, they're getting forward so often, but the amount of times either the flag goes up or the final pass is off target, you know, it's just really is now a case of counting down those minutes and hoping guys to get a chance.
Well, the referee has just booked the goalkeeper, Zach Jones, for time wasting. 16 minutes to gone, so he's just trying to work the clock down. Sense another 0-0 draw here that they would certainly appreciate, I'm sure, Vauxhall Motors. Guiseley at the moment picking up the ball, frustrated by Vauxhall, and a heavy challenge there. And I think that's Gavin Rothery was on the receiving end of it. He's gone down clutching his ankle, and the referee's going to go to his book again, I would suspect, just while we wait for Gavin Rothery to get back to his feet, and I think he does. And it's a yellow card. I'm not sure who came in on that challenge, Tom, so I'll just keep a note on that. But equally, there's been a few goals in around the Skrill North. Histon are now 2-0 down to North Ferriby United. Of course, Histon playing with 10 men this afternoon after having Zach Mills sent off early doors. Hensford are now 2-1 down at home to Gainsborough Trinity. So another poor result for Hensford in the offing. And Gloucester City, as they're fighting to keep their place in the Skrill North, are now 2-0 up against Stockport County. County next up for Guiseley, of course. The free kick's taken. Danny Ellis gets the ball into the area. Good cross this time, looking for Hall. It's beaten him. Falls kindly for Vauxhall Motors in the defence. And now Ben Parker, good tackle, good muscle, as he wins the ball back and plays it out towards the right-hand side where Kevin Halsgrove's now taken up a position. He begins to run at this Vauxhall defence, can't beat them. Resolute defending here from the Motormen. Still 0-0 here at Nethermoor between Guiseley and Vauxhall Motors on Guiseley AFC radio. Picked up now by Wayne Brooksby as Guiseley try to break down this Vauxhall resistance. Andy Holdsworth, can he get the ball into the area? Helps to go infield, square this time to Brooksby. Brooksby, nice ball in towards Boschel. Boschel can't control. Recovered by Vauxhall Motors, who could snatch something if they got a fortunate counter-attack out of this game. Guiseley take it forward now, and Danny Boschel tries to play it through the feet of Elms. Elms is alive to that, and a good ball now towards Rutter, but the flag's up, and it's going to be a free kick to Guiseley.
Well, just going back to that tackle on Gavin Rothery, that was Stephen Thames who got booked for that, and just a tackle by Ben Parker on Thames. He got the ball, just made sure he got a little bit of the man, just a little warning there, because that was a naughty tackle by Thames on Rothery and could have caused, well, an injury for the midfielder.
Guys, they get the ball forward towards Brooksby from the free kick, but it's picked up here by Elms. Elms plays it out to the right-hand side. Going to be another substitute for the Lions. I think it's Michael Potts who's warming up over there. And in the meantime, the ball's back with Danny Ellis in the Guiseley back line. 77 minutes gone. Ellis goes long, looking for Boys. Williams wins it, but good tackle there from Boys, from Wainwright. Now into the feet of Halsgrove, and then unbelievably, and I'm perplexed actually somehow, there's an offside flag gone up. And I'm not quite sure what happened there.
Well, Boys, it's a fantastic tackle by Boys. He's alert to the danger, gets the tackle in to Halsgrove, and Gavin Rothery's timed his run. Halsgrove passes to Rothery, and straight away the flag goes up for offside. And, you know, now the goalkeeper's on a yellow card, and he's starting to just a bit of time
taking a few
wasting.
time, isn't he? Yeah, he's certainly done it. The substitutes just happened. This might raise an eyebrow or two. Maybe Jake Lawler's got a little knock. Didn't look too happy going off there, but Jake Lawler's been replaced by Michael Potts. Potts, of course, a completely different player in the style and skills to Lawler, but Lawler's had a good game this afternoon. Potts immediately into the action, trying to take the ball away from Wainwright. Throw into Guiseley after Wainwright clears into touch. Still scoreless, still goalless, but there's been another goal in another game local to here. Brefford Park Avenue are now 2-1 down at home to Colwyn Bay. Colwyn Bay now leading by 2-1. That's not a good result for Guiseley as it stands. Neither's this one. 0-0 as we head into the final 10. Guiseley win the ball back inside the Vauxhall half. Played forward by Wayne Brooksby into Kevin Holsgrove. Holsgrove's shot again. I'll give him some benefit of the doubt. It did seem to bobble in front of him in that area, but he's got right underneath that and fired it behind for a goal kick.
Well, one of them occasions where Holsgrove, it has bobbled and his shot has gone way over the bar, but he could have taken another touch, could have just made sure it wasn't going to bobble and then had his shot, but, you know, it's another big chance for guys and it's another one not taken.
Ball, long one forward from Vauxhall Motors. North Ferriby have got a third against Histon. So it's Histon 0, Ferriby 3. Wayne Brooksby just slips as he goes to get a ball, but it goes through to Holsgrove. Potts takes over in the centre field. He's looking for options ahead of him. There's 3 on the edge of the 18-yard box, but no space to work in for Potts. Potts picks it up and starts trying to craft some passes together in midfield. Forward now towards Adam Boyes on the edge of the area. Again, a really poor cross come shot come I don't know what. So poor it's gone out for a throw-in down by the corner flag on the other side.
Well, I think that had to have been a shot because there was no one in the area. And Boyes there, it's gone right across goal and gone out for a throw-in. And, you know, just another case where it's just that finishing touch, that bit of quality going forward. If Guiseley had possessed that today and shown that, this game would be long gone by now and Guiseley would have 3 points.
Well, the Lions just can't break down this defence. Can't get the game back underway. There's a Vauxhall man down at the moment. They haven't used any substitutes as yet. They've got 4 on the bench. Just a reminder, it's still goalless here. 80 minutes gone. And we've had the 3 best chances, I think, of this game in that second half. The attendance just being announced, if you didn't quite pick it out from the back there. 437 here at Nethermoor this afternoon. Now, another goal in the Conference North, in the Skrill North. And this one will raise an eyebrow or two. It's come at Workington. It's Workington 1, Boston United 0.
Wow.
Ben McKenna scoring with 5 minutes to go. So Workington leading at home to Boston United. Good day for the sides at the bottom, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, it really is. And that is the definition of a shock. I really didn't see Workington getting anything out of that game the way Boston have been playing. And, you know, again, it's a good result for Guiseley if Guiseley can take advantage and get 3 points today.
Well, it's a big if at the moment, isn't it? It's a very big if. 0-0 as we go into the last 9 minutes of this game. Just a substitute for Vauxhall Motors. They've Bainbridge in place of Jordan Briley. Potts has the ball for Guiseley. He's just given away possession, though. And now it's a chance for the motorman to come forward. But good work back here by Andy Holdsworth. And now he's given the ball back to Lloyd Ellams. Taken over at the second attempt by the Motors, and they've come forward with a raking ball towards Bainbridge, the substitute. And his opposite number, Gavin Rothery, both wearing number 15, makes the interception and wins the ball back for Guiseley. Clearance from Danny Hall, intercepted. And Danny Hall has to watch because the ball that was returned to him was difficult for him to deal with. And in the end, Bainbridge has committed a foul, and Guiseley get a free kick. Referee decides it's not quite in precisely the right space, and Guiseley have to take it again.
Yeah, really, just again, using that word again, frustrating, because it literally is a yard the other side. It makes no difference, but the Vauxhall players were saying, look, it's not in the right place, make him take it again.
Now Kevin Holsgrove gets the ball on the edge of the D, tries to beat everyone. Not surprisingly, Vauxhall defend it. Hall now takes over on the halfway line, plays it towards the left-hand side where Gavin Rothery's waiting. He takes it down well on the chest. Rothery's got 2 ahead of him. He's going to have to do something spectacular with this if he's going to get it through. Few options provided for him. He tries to go past one and get down towards the byline. Keeps the ball in touch, and after defending really well with the defender, earns Guiseley a free kick. Excellent work there from Gavin Rodri. All round superb stuff there.
Yeah, the determination he showed there is the reason they have got this free kick, and getting all them big men forward. If they get anything from this, it's all because of Gavin Rodri's initial good work.
The free kick right out on the touchline, level with the 6-yard box. Guiseley have got players in that area. The fans urging them on. 83 minutes gone, whipped in, goes past everyone, up to the back post. Danny Boschel gets it back in. Blocked on the edge of the 6-yard box and cleared. And now counter-attack here for Vauxhall Motors. Danny Ellis is caught upfield. Chance for the motorman to come down here. Played in towards Rutter. Really bad late challenge there from Rutter, who holds his hands up. He realised it was just late and clumsy. Guiseley can counter-attack though, and it comes through here. Wayne Brooksby into the area. Gets the ball across the face of the goal. Nobody on the end of it this time. Can Guiseley keep it in play? Andy Holdsworth can't, and it's out for a throw-in on the far side. And that was a good opportunity once again spurned by Guiseley. Brooksby on the counter-attack into the area, across the face of the goal, nobody on the end of it.
Well, that time, the amount of times Adam Boyes and Holsgrove have got into the right area, that time the ball's perfect, but they weren't there to take advantage of it.
Picked up now by Thames after Danny Ellis's header fell kindly for him. Thames goes down and is frustrated. Guiseley pick it up now here with Danny Boschel. 6 minutes to go, 0-0. Wayne Brooksby takes over, has a run at this back line, takes a shot. Once again, he shanks the effort and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
It is just getting to be the same old story for Guiseley during this match. Getting in the right positions, all the players have, but it's just that bit of quality going forward. That finishing touch and that shot by Brooksby, it's not a great effort. It's always going wide, and it's another missed opportunity.
Feels like one of those days where, I know it's a bit of an old cliche, but we could play till next week and I don't think we'd get a goal the way that things are going for us in the end today.
Yeah, it just feels like that. It really does. Hopefully we'll be proven wrong.
Prove us wrong, please. I'm hoping I'm jinxing it. Michael Potts now with the ball. Skips it over the back line. Plays it down to Boyes. Boyes with a shot. Stopped by the goalkeeper once again. Holsgrove with the return. Hits the crossbar and goes behind. That's it. Surely we're not going to get anything today. Adam Boyes picked the ball up really well. Did so well. Took a shot that was really well saved by Zach Jones. All credit to the goalkeeper. It returned to Kevin Holsgrove. He did well to get the shot away with the left foot. Over the defenders, hits the crossbar, still 0-0.
Well, I'll be honest, I thought that was the moment when Holsgrove, I just thought he's going to shoot, it's going in, and it's just always rising, and it just rised up at the crucial moment, hits the crossbar, goes out of play.
Guys, they come forward again. Here's Danny Boschel. Boschel's got options ahead of him, but goes left this time to Rothery. Rothery, can he do something with this on the edge of the area? Goes back in field here to Michael Potts. Potts lines up a shot. Good shot. Takes a deflection. Oh, well saved by the goalkeeper. He had to watch that so carefully because after the deflection from Michael Potts' shot, he was diving one way, but recovered well and held on to it.
All credit to Jones because he was completely wrong-footed by that deflection. He's somehow able to just change his feet so quickly, and fantastic save given the deflection.
Late into this game now, still 0-0. There's been a late goal. Damien Reeves has equalised for Altrincham at Brackley, so it's Brackley Town 1, Altrincham 1 as it stands. It's 0-0 here between Guiseley and Vauxhall Motors. Throw in here from Andy Holdsworth though, set Wayne Brooksby away. Brooksby gets a second ball, touch, can't control it. Cleared again by Vauxhall Motors. Michael Potts goes for an aerial challenge. Doesn't win it this time, and it comes away now for Vauxhall with Clare. Carl Clare over the halfway line, plays a long one forward, looking to get Rutter away. Rutter almost takes it down beyond Danny Ellis. Ellis now has to go out wide towards the corner flag. Rutter does well, gets it back in field now to Mason. Mason curls one in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Guys, having to get back here. Danny Boschel gets a final touch away after a good header clear from Hall. Back into Clare though. Clare plays a rather aimless ball into the area. 87 minutes, 88 minutes gone now. Still 0-0. Guiseley now looking to have to settle for the point. Good work here from Wayne Brooksby. Wins the ball back. Carvin Holsgrove gets the ball down the left-hand side. Gavin Rothery comes forward now onto the edge of the area. Can Guiseley make one last chance here? Rothery across the face of the goal, straight at the goalkeeper in the end. Under tremendous pressure. And now Vauxhall come away with it with the number 11 Kynan Mason coming over the halfway line. Mason now holds it up. Plays it back to Barnes. And now Vauxhall Motors can just take the sting out of it, hold on to possession for a wee while. But then Barnes just gifts it straight back to Danny Hall. Perhaps there's time for one more gilt-edged chance, but you just wonder how many we'd need today.
Well, it just feels like it. Does it matter how many chances we have? Are we going to score?
Rutter now for Vauxhall Motors has just picked up a ball on the edge of the area. Can he get a shot away because he's got Danny Hall onto him? Hall tackles, but it falls kindly for Tame. Tame blasts one, but it's way wide and behind for a goal kick. Last minute and 20 seconds of normal time by my reckoning. New ball needed. Frustrating afternoon. You said that word was the word that we've been using so often. It really has been frustrating.
Just the amount of times guys have got in the right position and you think this is going to be a goal and then the chance goes begging and, you know, it just feels like there will be time for one more chance. It's just, can Guiseley profit from it?
Gainsborough Trinity have got a third. They're 3-1 up at Hensford now. And Altrincham have scored a second. James Walshaw has given Altrincham the lead at Brackley Town. 2-1 there. 0-0 here. Potts comes forward, bundled over by Rutter. Rutter's got away with that one. Aliams is allowed forward, and now Vauxhall can counter-attack. Aliams is just walking through the defence at the moment. He's got men on the left-hand side if he can find them. Lays it out here to Mason. Mason in field. Danny Ellis has got back this time, gets an opportunity to cut that attacking move out. But it all came from what looked like a free kick on Michael Potts.
Well, there's going to be plenty of time for guys that get a chance, guys. 5 minutes of added time, that's brilliant. But I've got to say there, Tom Rutter, that is such a cynical tackle. And I can't believe the referee didn't give a free kick.
So 5 minutes of added time. There's the difference between Guiseley dropping 2 points this afternoon. Don't make no mistake about it, it would be 2 points dropped if we don't win this game. Ben Parker out, left out to Gavin Rothery. Gavin Rothery, he's got the impressive Wainwright up against him. Rothery does well, though. Gets the ball in towards Kevin Holsgrove. Holsgrove can't meet it with his head. Danny Boschel now. Plays a poor ball. Boschel's misjudged this one, giving it straight to Rutter. Rutter goes out to the right-hand side, and the counter-attack is on. Danny Hall has to step across very intelligently to take it away from Carl Clare. Does so. Gives it to Gavin Rothery. Guys, need to press. Beginning to get a bit expansive here and stretched. The ball goes forward, trying to find Boys. But it's intercepted well by Tom Hannigan, the Vauxhall captain, and then knocked out into touch for a throw.
Well, the determination to get the ball quickly and just get another chance, get a big chance before the end of the game. We're in added time now, and you know what? It just feels like, guys, they are going to get one more chance. Let's see what happens.
Wayne Brooksby's got the ball in the final third, lays it into the feet of Michael Potts. Potts on the edge of the 18-yard box, plays it out wide here well to Gavin Rothery. Rothery down by the touchline. He's got Wainwright on him, lays it back in to Parker. Parker whips this one into the area. Doesn't get the height needed, it's intercepted. Parker goes for the second ball, can't win it. Picked up well by the defender, Danny Hall. And guys who win possession back here with Danny Boschel. Now Rothery floats one in towards the back post where Andy Holdsworth is waiting. Can't quite get the head onto it. Bounces only as far as Brooksby. Brooksby chips this one in towards Holsgrove. Defended well again by Vauxhall Motors. At the back post now, Ben Parker floats it back in. Collected by the goalkeeper. Guys, he just cannot force it over that line. Just can't seem to get that shot away on goal. Zach Jones, the goalkeeper, takes a long clearance. Vauxhall know there could be a counter-attack in the offing late on into this game. 2 minutes of the added 5 have been played. Rutter gets his man away, and now guys, they've got to defend here because Vauxhall are into the area. There's a chance here, but a great tackle from Michael Potts just as it looked like Vauxhall Motors had undone the Guiseley defence. They've left plenty back though of the Motormen, and Guiseley come forward in the counter-attack. They face 5 defenders. Rothery left here to Potts. Potts on a run. Can Guiseley get the ball into the area? Good tackle from Wainwright on Potts. It's a throw-in. Potts takes it quickly, gives it to the feet of Gavin Rothery. Rothery tries to feed it between 2 players, does well. Finds Holsgrove. Holsgrove on the edge of the 18-yard box. Infield here to Brooksby. Brooksby into Boschel. Gets it back. Brooksby goes through. He's bundled over surely, but this time referee not having anything. And Zach Jones just holds it down in the corner of the penalty area. Forces Danny Boschel to come forward. But there was a bit of a shout there, wasn't there, Tom?
Well, definitely. Wayne Brooksby's body check. Well, I'm not sure whether it'd be a penalty or a free kick right on the edge, but It's a clear foul, and I just can't believe the referee hasn't given that.
Well, 2 minutes is all that remains of the added 5. And at the moment, Vauxhall have the ball in the Guiseley half. Stephen Thames has just knocked it out into touch. And the ball's thrown back to Stephen Drench. And can Drench get this one forward? And the match sponsors today, Black Solicitors, have given the man of the match to Wayne Brooksby. So he'll hopefully come up with something as well, just to put the cherry on the cake for that one. But now Gavin Rothery's got the ball for Guiseley into the Vauxhall area. Same old, same old. This time the ball fires high and wide from the cross. The final delivery. You kind of predict it every time for anyone gets in that penalty area.
Yeah, for both sides, it really is the case during this half. Every time a player's got in the right position, the shots either been really wayward or just wayward. It hasn't been a day for the finishers. And like you were saying, it feels like we could be playing for the next week and we won't see a goal, because the chances, they haven't just been missed by a few yards. It's been by some distance every time.
One last chance, perhaps. 40 seconds to go. Gavin Rothery with the ball on the left-hand side, out to Kevin Halsgrove. Halsgrove to the byline, gets a good cross in, up towards Michael Botts, gets the header, takes a touch off the Vauxhall player, and somehow a corner has been given. The referee pointed for a goal kick at first. Somehow they thought it was a goal kick, and that would have been an absolute disgrace.
Well, the referee was adamant it was a goal kick. The linesman's waving his flag. No, it's a corner. It clearly took a deflection off a motorman head. And here we go. This is the big chance.
It's now or never for Guiseley. The corner to come in. Whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Nobody on it. Up towards Danny Ellis. Into Kevin Halsgrove. Yes! It's there! Guiseley have grabbed the winner at the very death. My watch says there was just 1 second of added time left. The clearance from the corner fell to Kevin Halsgrove. His drive into the back of the net, and it's Guiseley 1, Vauxhall Motors 0.
What a fantastic finish it is for Guiseley. That, you know what, it's deserved for Guiseley during the second half. The amount of chances Guiseley have had, and it's gone in. What a fantastic finish. All the players, they're hugging each other, and the crowd have gone mad, and so have I.
Well, there's enthusiasm, Tom. There we are, 1-0, 5th minute of stoppage time. It doesn't get closer than that. Guiseley have got the 3 points surely. Well, depends how long gets added on. Have you counted down yet, Tom?
Well, I'm just getting my breath back now. When the ball hit the back of the net, the relief it is with the results that have happened as well for Guiseley today. What a fantastic result.
Tom Rutter starts things off. Referee hasn't finished proceedings. Now about a minute of over the added time, and he still keeps going. The ball goes forward, headed away by Ben Parker into Danny Boschel. Boschel out here to Adam Boys. Boys over the halfway line. Guys, he surely have seen this one out. The referee blows the whistle, and a huge cheer goes round Nethermoor, because this has been an absolutely agonising afternoon, and it looked like it was going to be a frustrating one as well. After guys, he'd spent chance after chance in the final third. We thought the game had gone. In the last seconds of added time, a goal kick was given by the referee. The linesman said, no, it's a corner. The linesman was right. The corner comes in. It looks like it's been beaten away after being aimed well towards Danny Ellis. But the clearance falls to Kevin Halsgrove. He drives it in through a morass of players, and it's in the back of the net. And Guiseley have got the 3 points. It's finished Guiseley 1. Vauxhall Motors 0, and Tom, breathless finish in the end.
Fantastic finish. You know, finally Halsgrove found his shooting boots just when it mattered. His shot goes in. You can't blame the keeper. It's a fantastic effort. But I do just think on balance of play, Guiseley deserved to win this game. It would have been 2 points dropped if that hadn't have gone in. And, you know, with the results that have happened elsewhere, you know, the likes of Brackley dropping points and, you know, the likes of
Hensford as well.
Hensford and Boston United as well. What a fantastic 3 points this is for Guiseley. And you know what? What a fantastic way for this game to end.
Well, all credit to Vauxhall Motors. They fought this afternoon. They looked like they'd earned themselves a point. Guiseley popped up in the very, very last seconds to get the goal and the 3 points. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the commentary. I hope you've enjoyed joining us this afternoon. We thank you for doing so. We'll be back on Tuesday night. Tough task again. Stockport County at home. And we'll see you on Tuesday. Cheers for now.